answer this. Founded in 1924.
Can I guess, Preston?
You can't. I'm sorry. I only wanted Kathy to guess. And did you write down your answer?
Well, yes, and it was so stupid. Like, now I see the answer. So I can't believe I got that wrong.
yeah,
I didn't get it correct.
All right. Founded in 1924, what department store's name includes the street of its original New York City address? And we will go to Eric to see if he knows. Hey, Eric, morning.
Good morning to see you.
Eric. Good morning, Eric. All right, what is the store we speak of?
It's Saks Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, Saks Fifth Avenue. Which, Kathy, I think you can probably see from where you're sitting right now.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah, it's right across the way. I'll tell you a quick story about Saks, but first let me say we have a pair of tickets as Four Walls presents the Always Sunny podcast live Saturday, September 23rd at the Mann Center. Preston and Steve Show welcomes the gang back to Philadelphia. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. I went into Saks Fifth Avenue with Kathy one time.
Yeah.
We were shopping. She was going to help me find a purse
that's right.
for Rochelle. And the moment that I started to see the prices on these things, I was
that's Saks, all right.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I knew it was a nice store. I didn't know it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
So I get a gift certificate occasionally for Claire for Saks, and that would be a big gift, just the gift certificate.
They have an off Saks in the Metroplex.
And it's right next to Nut Saks.
what's it called? Is it like
off Saks Fifth Avenue? Yeah,
So
it's like
it's
the discounted
discount, right?
items.
Yeah.
like Nordstrom Rack?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should go by there sometime.
Which is a little more reasonable.
It's
You can
funny,
find
Kathy,
discounted
because
stuff.
there was a cashier that used to work at Lord & Taylor, and I would see her all the time when I would go in there, and she got hired over to Saks Fifth Avenue, and I guess they did like a glow up on her or something, because what worked for Lord & Taylor
wasn't
didn't work
working
for
for
Saks.
Saks.
Wow. All right, well, listen, I got some stories. We're going to start with this. On a recent episode of CBS Mornings, Oprah Winfrey commented on the backlash that she and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson received after they launched the People's Fund of Maui in August. Together, Winfrey and Johnson contributed $10 million to the fund and asked others to donate as well. And she said, I was so excited. I got up the next morning and I saw all of this vitriol, and I was like, whoa, what happened here? She shared that she was inspired by a similar fund set up by Dolly Parton following the 2016 wildfires in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Right.
Defending the fund, she said it puts money directly into the hands of the people and that she still thinks that it's really a strong idea. She also highlighted that 2,200 Maui residents have signed up for the fund and will begin to receive $1,200 monthly checks. She said, it made me sad that we're at this state in our country. So here, and I was reading this going, well, what was the backlash?
Yeah.
People on social media criticized the millionaire and billionaire for asking people to contribute when they can, quote, barely pay rent, barely can put food on the table for our families. Even Nick Cannon said on his podcast, it's in poor taste for a billionaire to ask anyone for money. I don't care what the situation is.
Okay.
I don't think that they're asking for everyone to contribute money.
And I would
think
imagine
they're
they're
asking
also-
for people who can. They did. They gave $10 million.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
asking for people who can contribute money to contribute money.
There's also misinformation going on out there. I don't know anything about this. All I do know is what people were telling me last weekend, and they were up in arms about Oprah Winfrey and The Rock because what they were under the belief that they went in and are buying land up pennies to the dollar.
Right.
And who knows, that might be the case.
That is happening. I don't know that that's connected to directly to Oprah.
Those were the two names I was told, though.
So, as you'd imagine, BlackRock and other names come up about buying up land, and we'll see how that all shakes out. I don't understand. Yeah, I didn't quite understand the backlash myself, Preston.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think one thing that I heard of, but I don't know. You're damned if you're doing.
It's true. No, it's true because there's somebody that has a terrible situation in their life going, hey, well, how about us?
Yes.
How about my group of people over here that are struggling
It's
as well?
understandable.
Yep.
Listen, you do the best you can.
Yeah.
You try to help where you can help, and when you can't help everyone.
Do you know what turns out to be a good philosophy? Don't help.
All right, well, so we'll move on to another story. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis reportedly owe the Securities and Exchange Commission $1 million in fines after the SEC found that the embattled couple has been conducting unregistered offers of crypto asset securities.
That crypto stuff, man.
I'll try to explain this. So the government agency also claimed that Kutcher and Kunis were misleading investors for their new series called Stoner Cats. The project sold more than 10,000 NFTs for a profit of $8 million in order to finance the animated series. But by doing so, the SEC claimed they had violated the Securities Act of 1933 by offering and selling these crypto asset securities to the public in an unregistered offering that was not exempt from registration.
It's 1933 and everyone's purchasing crypto.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. All the rage, right? In the 20s and 30s. So, Stoner Cats, which stars Kunis.
A car in every garage, a chicken in every pot, and cryptocurrency on your yet-to-be-built computer.
Also, Chris Rock and Jane Fonda and several other high-profile celebrities. It tells the story of a group of cats as they attempt to care for their marijuana-smoking owner who suffers from Alzheimer's disease. So the series' creative team allegedly claimed that one of the highlights of owning one of its NFTs was that a person could later sell it at a much higher value in the future. According to the SEC, this boasting led investors to, quote, expect profits because a successful web series could cause the resale value of the Stoner Cats NFTs in the secondary market to rise. The agency also found that the group had created the token to give itself a 2.5% royalty each time that the NFT was purchased online. So Stoner Cats wanted all the benefits of offering and selling a security to the public, but ignored the legal responsibilities that come with doing so.
Doesn't this seem sketchy to you?
All of
like NFTs, really? I've never understood the concept of an NFT. You're buying like a graphic, you're buying an image, or you're buying something that's you're buying air is what you're buying.
You remember when it was all the rage a few years ago?
Oh, yes.
Like even our company wanted to start getting involved.
Let's sell NFTs.
And it's just one of these things that I'm sure it's still happening now, but not at all near the level it was a few years ago when it first hit.
I'm more into GFYs, which is go after yourself.
Okay.
I like those.
Since coming under scrutiny, the series was ordered to return monies that injured investors paid to purchase the NFTs. Stoner Cats has also agreed to destroy all NFTs in its possession or control and publish notice of the order on its website and social media channels.
So when you destroy an NFT, do you simply hit delete?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't get it.
Not the slightest idea.
There are a couple of people I actually had conversations with, is what a human is attempting to say, about NFTs and about crypto. People that I thought, okay, were very well informed. And then it turns out they got stung with this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. I'm not getting involved.
All right, I have a story about Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi?
All right, you do not do this. Okay, so she stunned Alyssa Farrah Griffin during Thursday's episode of The View when she interrupted herself to ask Farrah Griffin if she was pregnant.
Yeah.
No.
The woman is not pregnant.
What?
No.
Why the hell?
So
How is
here's
she
the deal.
A woman, and she doesn't know. How is she a human, and she doesn't know not to do that?
I watched the clip. So Whoopi, she says, basically she's seeing what she believes is the glow.
Yeah, so the way it told
It's
she didn't
not
look-
based on her body.
She didn't look at her belly and go,
so
"Are
she's
you
just looking
pregnant?"
at her face and,
Okay.
and
All
she
right.
blurts it out.
But so they were talking about politics. They were talking about Mitt Romney at the time. So she's in the middle of a discussion, and then she just turns to her, and like stopping in the middle of an observation, and she just turns to her and goes, "Are you pregnant?"
So that's the same day, by the way, this woman's mother-in-law is like in the front row of The View, and she's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. She goes, "You can't say that while my mother-in-law is here. She's been dying for me to get pregnant." Why? And Joy Behar goes, "Why would you say that?" And Whoopi says, "I just got a vibe. Forgive me. You have this. I see a glow," she said.
By the way,
Even the producers.
I was
face is
watching the
like,
clip and reading the article yesterday about this. Do you know how old Joy Behar is?
She like pushing 80?
She's 80.
Yeah.
She's 80. She looks pretty goddamn good
Yeah.
for 80.
She does. I
Absolutely.
remember when you had her birthday, and
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she looks good for her.
I was looking at a video of Ringo Starr the other day because his band is hitting the road. He's 83 years old.
I would put him early 70s.
Early 70s is what
Yeah.
it looks like. It's incredible. Some people, they have the genetics, and others get little tweaks done here and there. So anyhow,
Is that a dig at me?
Farrah Griffin revealed that she and her husband, Justin Griffin, are thinking about having a baby. She added, "I'll take a test when I get home just to be sure." Jonathan Majors stepped in to stop an intense fight between two high schoolers at an In-N-Out burger on Monday. TMZ had video of the incident. The two female students can be seen rolling around on the pavement at the In-N-Out punching each other before the Creed 3 actor breaks it up.
How could you do that at an In-N-Out?
I mean, come on, the food's so good. The fast food chain is located across the street from the Hollywood High School. Majors reportedly told them to stay cool. This comes
You think
days
you're bad?
after the Michael comes in his bad outfit.
You think you're bad? What the hell are you?
This comes days after the actor's domestic violence trial was postponed for the second time. At a recent comedy show, it was actually in Atlantic City, Pete Davidson revealed that he took ketamine daily for 4 years before checking into rehab this summer. And but he had some pretty funny things to say about it. He said it was magical. About the dissociative drug. He said, I'm fresh out of rehab, everyone. I got that post-rehab glow. And then he said, 7 times the charm. According to the outlet, ketamine has hallucinogenic effects and includes a state of sedation, immobility, relief from pain, and amnesia.
So it's called Special K, right?
Yeah,
Ketamine?
I think that's what it
Ketamine's
is,
street
yeah.
name? Yeah, I'm hep to all that stuff.
All right, so I wasn't sure because sometimes people use it clinically.
Right.
And so when you were saying daily, I was like, oh, I guess he's on this clinical thing. But I also thought that he was just strictly a pot guy.
Apparently he's not. And his promotions company dropped him after the car
really?
accident. He's if he doesn't watch it, he'll slip back down again.
I very rarely mention the Real Housewives, but this one I have to go with here. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Jen Shah have become friends while serving time together at a federal prison in Texas.
Awesome.
Isn't that nice?
That 2 felons could find each other in a world gone crazy.
Sarah's rep, Chris Giovanni, said they're friends. They're both rehabilitating and have bonded over being on this journey of positive change.
I was bilking old people. I built a machine for medical care that didn't work.
Their situations brought them together, he said, and they have a good understanding of one another.
We get each other.
They're getting through it together. Holmes was sentenced for 11 years in prison for fraud in 2022, and Shah was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison for her role in a telemarketing scheme.
Is it you that left that wine in my toilet?
So
I love you.
They're best buddies in prison as we speak.
Yeah. I wonder if
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. Yeah. John Stamos. Yeah. So I wonder if it's they're in a low security, like a white collar sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they're not shivving it up.
Right. But what are you wondering?
I was going to say if there's strength in them like forming these cliques, but it's not that kind of prison.
Probably not. But you listen. If you're incarcerated, Lloyd, you do need to have companionship of some type. So
So like all the reality shows. This might be like they cross lines here. They cross the aisle, like the reality showers and the medical bilkers.
Liev Schreiber and Taylor Neeson have announced the birth of their baby girl. The Ray Donovan star, who is 55, and his former pageant queen wife, who is 31, shared the exciting news via social media on Wednesday, revealing that their bundle of joy arrived late last month. Schreiber wrote on Instagram, so happy that Hazel B is finally here.
Hazel B?
Yeah, B-E-E, by the way, is her middle name.
All right.
The proud papa shared 2 images of the newborn, the first being her tiny hand grasping his thumb, and the second being her little foot. She arrived early in the morning, August 27th, and has been a dream every day since, he said. The Emmy-nominated actor then gave an update on how his girls are doing. He said, Mom and baby are both super happy and healthy. Thanks for all of the love and support. His newest addition makes him a father of 3. He and his ex, Naomi Watts, share 2 children, Sasha, who is 16, and Kai, who is 14.
So when you have a newborn like that, and they do hold down onto your finger, I've seen so many people do pictures of that. That's got to be an amazing thing.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
He does really great voiceover work, but like I'm like, that doesn't sound like it. Almost like doesn't sound like him. Do you know what I mean?
He's Patrick on SpongeBob.
He's not Patrick on. Is he?
No.
That's Dauber, whatever that guy's name is.
I know exactly what you mean. Patrick. When you hear his voice, I don't picture his face.
Yeah.
When he's doing like the Real Sports or whatever. Not Real Sports, but
he does Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. Yeah.
Does he do? He could do Real Sports.
You know what he did 24/7. It did those hockey series when they would lead up to the games at the ballpark or whatever.
It
You
was-
know who's
it
an
was-
actor?
The boxing 24/7
He did, yeah.
too. Yeah.
An actor who's made a fortune, 10 times what he made as an actor with voiceover work is a guy named Peter Coyote.
Yeah.
Who just works all the friggin' time.
So in this last season of Hard Knocks, it was pretty funny. The very first episode, Aaron Rodgers is
Yeah,
the big, all he wanted to do is he wanted to meet Liev Schreiber.
Really?
And they flew him in on a helicopter.
That's funny.
Just to training camp, and they, just to make it like over.
And then his
dramatic.
last words, break a leg.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Princess Diana's sweater featuring a black sheep among rows of white ones has sold for $1.14 million.
Wow.
At an auction by Sotheby's in New York.
So, Kathy, you'd probably hand wash that, right?
You guys would know this if you saw it. It's red and it's got all these white sheep across it. Bidding opened on the 31st of August, and the top bid stayed under $200,000 until the auction's final minutes, and then it shot up to $1.1 million. Sotheby's had estimated the value of the sheep jumper, that's what they're calling it,
Sheep jumper.
at $50,000 to $80,000. It did not disclose the identity of the winning bidder. The simple piece of knitwear, which was unearthed in an attic in March, commanded a higher price than many other objects tied to the People's Princess that were sold at auctions in recent years. Diana's car, a Ford Escort, may be the closest. It went for $806,000 in 2022.
Didn't she briefly own the Munstermobile?
Maybe.
Okay.
You're curious? She had an Escort? Yeah, this was before she was the princess.
Yeah.
And she was, she'd drive around. They have it in the Crown. Her driving that. The amethyst bedecked Atala cross that Diana frequently wore was sold to Kim Kardashian.
Oh, no.
For roughly 1/5 of the sweater's
I'll
amount
take that.
of $203,000 at an auction in January. Sweater's design is often described as symbolic of Diana's place in the royal family. This is interesting. Beetlejuice 2 was almost a wrap before the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Got down to
July.
the wire.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Tim Burton said in a recent interview, he said, I feel grateful that we got lucky. Literally, he said, it was a day and a half left.
Jesus.
And we know what we have to do. It is 99% done. They are
man.
right on the edge of it being finished.
Couldn't they give them as they call it, a carve out just to finish? I mean, they're that close to it.
Yeah, you would think so.
I mean, if they're giving all these independent movies these special waivers.
Yeah. A couple of trailers are out. The full trailer for Aquaman, the sequel, dropped yesterday. The preview shows Jason Momoa's Aquaman and Patrick Wilson's Orm teaming up to fight Yahya Abdul-Mateen Black Manta, who is out for revenge and is more powerful than ever. Amber Heard's Mira appeared in the trailer for approximately 2 seconds, but she is in the movie. So the trailer is out if you want to see that. Paramount Plus released the first trailer for the Frasier reboot series yesterday as well.
Yeah, I watched it. I like it.
Okay. How does it...
So they replaced a guy who was Niles, his brother, with another persnickety kind of foil.
Okay.
Which you miss are, his dad and Daphne. But it seems like what they've added in is his son has become sort of, I guess, the main plot line. Is that his son is kind of a regular Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
kind of like his dad was?
Well, yes. Well, like Frasier's dad was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yep. So Kelsey Grammer reprises his role as Frasier Crane, who moved back to Boston to be closer to his grown-up son. Frederick, who's played by Jack Cutmore Scott. The first 2 episodes of the new series are going to premiere on the streaming platform on October 12th.
Nick, Freddie the Fredderman.
Fredman.
What's that?
Frederick. It was an episode of Cheers. It's just funny to me that this character has lasted as long as it has, and characters that I knew when I was watching Cheers in high school are now adult characters. They rebooted Night Court a year or so ago.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
It was all right.
It could have been far worse, but it was
It's
unnecessary.
weird when they reboot a show that you know really well, with a character you know really well, and then bring in new characters and don't bring many of the other characters that you... The reason why you fell in love with the show in the first place was the ensemble, and that's mostly gone now.
All right. We have clips to play.
No. It's a movie's opening. We do that first.
Movies are opening on Friday. movies opening this weekend. A Haunting in Venice. It's a mystery thriller. It stars Kenneth Branagh, Tina Fey, and Jamie Dornan. Set in eerie, post-World War II Venice on All Hallows Eve, this terrifying mystery features the return of the celebrated sleuth Hercule Poirot, now retired and living in self-imposed exile in the world's most glamorous city. Poirot is that how you say his name?
Poirot, yeah.
Poirot. Reluctantly attends a seance at a decaying haunted palazzo. And when one of the guests is murdered, the detective is thrust into a sinister world of shadows and secrets.
It's the Enrico Palazzo.
It is 1 hour and 43 minutes long. It's rated PG-13. Wide theater release. Rotten Tomato score gives it a 78%.
So I'm a big fan of Agatha Christie stuff. Always like those murder mysteries, and I think he does a good job. You guys didn't see it, right? They had the
No, they
preview.
had a screening the other night. I think the director, Steve, is Agatha Christie's grandchild.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was Kenneth Branagh directed it. No?
No, I'm sorry, the writer, the screenplay writer. My bad. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Also opening this weekend is The Inventor. In fact, we talked to
Christopher Knight.
Chris Knight yesterday. He's his production company is behind this. It's an animation adventure comedy. Stars Stephen Fry, Daisy Ridley, and Marion Cotillard. The Inventor follows famed inventor and artist Leonardo da Vinci as he leaves Italy for France. And in his new country, da Vinci joins the French court, where he experiments with flying contraptions, invents machines, and studies the human body, all in an effort to answer the question, what is the meaning of life? It's an hour and 32 minutes long. It's rated PG. It's in a limited release, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 75% score.
So what I like is they're using stop motion animation for this, which is I always find kind of enchanting.
Yeah, I do too.
Even though the guy, the puppet that looks like Da Vinci looks like Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready for clips now. The TV drama Surviving Summer is a show about a rebel teen who's kicked out of Brooklyn High School and sent to live with family in Australia. Here, actress Sky Katz talks about her role on the show.
I'm a troublemaker, rebellious. Trouble follows me wherever I go. I'm from Brooklyn, and my mom sends me off to Australia to stay with our family friends there. And I get immersed in the surfing culture there, and I'm such an instigator with the friend group, and there's love stories, your typical teen drama stuff.
Who's the interviewer?
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
Really? That's it.
Surviving Summer Season 2 comes to Netflix this weekend. Here's our next clip. The Gold is based off of the infamous 1983 Brinks Mat heist, in which 26 million pounds of gold was stolen from a warehouse near Heathrow Airport. What? In this clip, Stephanie Martini talks about playing Marnie Palmer, the wife of one of the accused.
The things that I understood about her from her memoir is that she had a really tough start to life, and she works really hard, and she is really loyal, and she really loved John a lot, and they had a very tricky relationship, but really did love John a lot.
What the
I am intrigued by this story. I've never heard of this.
The Gold premieres this weekend, and it's on Paramount, so you can find out all about that story if you want to. All right, that's it. The entertainment report for you this morning, friends. The sun is up. It's a Friday morning. We're feeling good, and we hope you are too.
Yes.
And we actually have some stuff to give away. Our friends from Red Robin are bringing in some goodies. And
I am feeling good, and I hope you are too.
We have $50 gift cards to give away, and I can take caller number 17 right now at 215-263-WMMR and take care of you. Red Robin is offering a whole lot of yum for just $10 with their $10 Tavern Bundle, which is going on now participating Lehigh Valley Restaurant Group locations. The offer is valid for dine-in only, so keep that in mind. We'll take that caller. We'll set you up. We'll be back in a moment. We got a bunch of things going on this morning. Hopefully you're sticking around for it. I should play that piece of audio.
Okay. It's real short.
It's very, very quick. It's not an audio illusion or anything like that. But do you know? We don't know where this is. Graduation ceremony. It looks like a college graduation.
It was
ceremony.
college graduation,
and as you walk up, this is your moment. This is your family is there. It's your time to shine. You get your name said with the thousands of people in it. Please welcome to our studio, Mr. Barnes Court. Please welcome to our studio, Mr. Barnes Courtney.
Yeah.
Morning, Barnes.
Morning. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. This place is fancy.
Thank you, sir.
We try.
Yeah.
Not by your own doing. They just gave it to us.
You have so many lights. Are you guys hot in here?
We wanted to make you feel, you love being on stage. I was reading you love touring. It never gets old to you.
No. I also love that you have an enormous 10 by 10 picture of me on the wall. Just as I request, I'm not doing the interview unless there's an enormous photograph of my face. Is everyone looking at it?
Barnes, I'm excited to become more familiar with your music. As I said at the top, I am not, but 3 things that I know you can do. You can sing, you can play, and you can write. And I'm very impressed with your vocal capability. So I was reading up a little bit on you. And I had read, I think it was where, as a younger musician, you wanted to really try to have a high range when you sang, but you felt that you were kind of forcing it, and then you settled into what was more natural to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, from a young age, my father used to lock me in the coal shed until I could produce notes of a certain pitch so that I could sing for halfpennies on the streets of Ipswich, where I spent my youth.
Wow.
Really?
And it was like,
There's a movie in there. Yeah.
Sorry, that's a complete lie.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was super...
You were the youngest of 15.
It was very difficult. My father was a cold and calculated man. He used to brush my hair from the left-hand side every morning as he would mutter insults under his breath.
Wow. That's just a tragic life.
I like you a lot.
It's that tragic tale that really led to my music. And
Oh my God! What an inspiring story. There's a movie from Disney in this.
Yes. Originally, you're from London?
I'm from just outside Aylesbury, but I grew up in Seattle, so I missed out on the sexy accent.
Oh,
I can put it on though if I need to.
But you have an appreciation of coffee.
I do. I do like coffee. I like being awake and cognizant of the world.
We're going to London next week. We're doing our show from there, and for most of it, it's a first time in London. And do you ever go back? I mean, do you still have family there?
No, I'm not allowed back in London.
You're not allowed back anymore.
Not since the accident, no.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, but I don't want to talk about it here, you know.
I understand.
You burned down the Courtney estate.
We don't want to pry.
Yeah, they are not fans of me in the Courtney Manor anymore.
Courtney Manor.
Courtney Manor. And on the 4th day, on the 5th moon, young Barnabas did burn down the Courtney Manor. And the stuffed giraffes were ruined. All the children cried in their nightgowns.
Wow.
I love it.
This
and then he fled to Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know where to go.
I don't need, to be honest, I've really digressed away from...
It's all good. I appreciate it. Some people don't say anything. I love this stream of consciousness that we're getting from you.
We'll take this, absolutely.
By the way, you have an accompaniment here. This is Agam is your keyboard player?
This is Agam. I don't actually know him, but he seemed pretty nice. He's got his own Casio.
Right. What are you guys going to play for us?
I'm going to play 99, which is my new single, Shameless Plug, Shameless Plug. And I guess I'll just play it now.
I'll introduce you.
Sorry, I was going to...
You were rattling on for
so used to introducing myself.
No. He'll be playing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at the Fillmore, and this is 99 from Barnes Courtney on MMR.
Hot, strong, young and dumb, yeah, we had no fear. Way back when we said we'd both be millionaires. Now those days are over, and we're all ghosts. We used to sleep all day, talk all night, stay up by the TV light, oh. When your baby teeth ain't milky white, wipe the stardust from your eyes, oh. Said, come on, love, we'll be just fine. We're gonna live just like it's 1999. In 1990. In 1999. In 1990. 1999. Back then we were trading cars behind the swings. Oh no, now it's money, gold and diamond rings. Now those days are over, and we're all ghosts. We used to sleep all day, talk all night, stay up by the TV light. Oh. said, come on, love will be just fine. We're gonna live just like it's 1999. In 1990. In 1999. In 1990. In 1999. Oh no, where does it go? Well, whatever, fill your body up with chemicals. Oh no, kaleidoscopes. Well, whatever, living better in 1990. In 1999. In 1990. In 1999. In 1999.
Yeah, man. Wow. Another Philadelphia legend. We played this audio a little while back, but I have seen a few texts and emails coming in if we could play back the audio. This was former Mayor Frank Rizzo.
Legendary.
At the time.
An old style, two-fisted mayor. Really worked well with the press.
He was approached by a reporter out on the street, and it led to this audio. It's priceless here.
Creep. Get away from me. Would you answer the question? You know, you hide behind that press card. I'm not hiding behind anything, sir. I just wanted to get some answers. I'll tell you what to do. There's a gang of yous here. There's enough of you here. By myself, I'll take yous physically. Well, I'm not asking you to take me physically. Well, get away from me. Well,
I'll take you sexually, too. I'll take you physically and sexually, and you'll hate it in one part and you'll love it in the other, and you'll be forever sworn to me your allegiance out of the love of the passion I'll deliver to you, all of yous.
He starts heading down a path he can't back off of.
I will do things to you that no woman's ever done, and you will ask for it to be done again, is how good you will feel at the end of these sexual acts I will levy upon you and your entire team. I don't care, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what comes out of it. I'm putting stuff in it, and I'm going to tell you something. You're going to love it.
Wow. I got two hands. I got
two
mouth.
hands. I have full working genitals. I have all sorts. And in my, you stay right here because my house is right over there, and I have so many lubricants. It's going to blow your mind, and you will be crying in pain and then laughing in joy. Is what will happen. There'll be things you will not believe it's happening while it's happening because you will never have an orgasm as powerful as what you will soon be delivered in that alleyway down there.
Well, this certainly took a turn, Mayor.
I do not want to have sex with you. I am not.
That's how he could have gotten rid of the guy, right?
Let's just go. Let's go.
Fellas, pack it up.
Enjoy your walk, sir.
All right.
From me.
Well, sir, I'm on the public street. I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it off I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb. That's a challenge. Except I'll put my dog away and I'll come back. And you got 1, 2, 3, and I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the three.
Just like that. You don't even have to take all your pants off. You're just down by your knees. I'll get it done. It doesn't matter. You'll be begging for more, but I'll deny you on the third time. I'll leave you so frustrated your blue balls will explode. I'm telling you this.
Oh, my God. Hang on. That one.
There was a line? There was a line? All right.
I did that for you.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Dude, I can't believe you just said that.
I had to.
I know. Oh, God. All right, let me continue on.
And I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the three of us, 4 of us, me and you.
Okay. I mean, honestly,
sounds like, right?
Just that isolated.
Yeah. And here's how it's going to work. I'll be with 2 of you at once, and the other 2 can watch. And then like tag team wrestling, you'll tag your hands, and they'll come in, I'll start doing the other 2.
Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, Eiffel Tower. And then I'm going to put some saran wrap over your face. You ever hear of a hot Carl?
But let me put my dog back first.
Yeah, my dog, I got to put my dog back in.
Joining us, that is Barnes Courtney, who's going to be playing at the Fillmore tonight. Tickets available at the Fillmore Philly gmail.com. So while you were playing that song, I spoke to Casey over here, our producer, Barnes, because
I was listening to me, but that's cool.
I was listening, but I had to take a moment.
So it's fine. It's all right. You got to pay your dues. I get it.
No, I was listening to the keyboard sound that Agam was playing, and we play a game here called Name That Song in 8 Bits. And it uses that particular 8-bit video game
sound
effects.
Yeah.
Do you want to play one real quick and see if you can?
I didn't know this would be a test.
It's a test. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
She's a good girl.
He's a pro, man.
Congratulations.
What a dude, Tom Petty.
Yeah.
You have just won yourself a digital download of Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's available now.
No way.
Digitally on 4K Ultra HD.
It's all coming up, Bonzi.
Let's try another one. All right.
There's more?
Yeah. Let's try another one. Here we go. Listen.
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Let's see, we're going to have on the program later this morning Becky Robinson, who's at Helium Comedy Club tonight and tomorrow. And then they've added shows on Sunday because the other shows are sold out. And we also have Justin Willman, who will be here. He's performing at the Keswick Theater tonight, by the way. So Justin's going to be by in about an hour or so. So we have some gaps filled, but we got some open space. And I think it's time to talk all things food and drink this morning.
It's an early edition of the Connoisseur. We hardly ever do it this early, so this is exciting.
Yeah. And along with the excitement that is the food and beverage news, we have the clips that we'll play as well.
Yes.
With some giveaways.
Do you want to call it Connoisseur Plus?
Sure.
Because now it has a game show element to it.
I think it's Connoisseur Standard now, but
okay.
Yeah, for sure. As long as we can keep coming up with clips, we'll do this.
Yes. Yeah.
At some point, we're going to run
out of food clips
because we do about 5 of them per segment. So, all right, we'll start with this. I saw an article, and it essentially touches on people, Americans eating dinner earlier these days.
I think I've asked this question before. I think we all sit in kind of the 6 o'clock range, right?
Not me. I'm early.
Are you?
Sometimes, yeah. Honestly, sometimes if I could eat dinner like 4:30, I'm good.
Oh wow!
I'm usually
you and
about,
the other folks over at the Denny's there.
I don't care. All my friends make. Whenever we go out to dinner, people ask to go to dinner. I'm like,
hey, it's cat day.
I say 5 o'clock. I'm like, how's 5? They're like, geez. I'm like, listen, I don't care. You want to go out to dinner with me? I gotta eat early.
Wow.
Listen.
Hi, Grandmom.
I'm hungry by then.
Yeah,
I'm hungry by then.
Because then I start snacking.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to wait till 6 o'clock, now I've snacked at 4:30 and I'm not hungry at 6 o'clock.
And also, it's getting it out of the way. It's easier to get a reservation if you're going to go out.
That I enjoy. No, going out to dinner, I will do 5:30, 5 o'clock. That's fine.
And
the one thing you don't want to be doing is like down in Boca Raton having your lunch at 12:30.
Well, and I can't eat too close to bedtime either. So 6 o'clock would be the absolute latest. Anything after that, it's just like I feel it the next morning. I feel like it's still sitting in my stomach.
So according to this article I saw, it's happening around the country, from Brooklyn to Boston, San Francisco to New Orleans, Chicago to Detroit, and there's mounting evidence that restaurants have begun filling up at what used to be an unfashionable time of the day.
Shifting earlier.
Yes. So the Boston Globe reports that some area restaurants are even starting the dinner hour in the middle of the afternoon, catering to those who eschew the usual peak time slots. Chef Douglas Williams says all of his restaurants now open at 4 p.m. He said, we're finding that people want to eat earlier.
So if you eat dinner as your first meal of the day, is it okay to call it breakfast?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you are technically breaking your fast.
That's true.
That's where the term breakfast derives from.
Right.
You're breaking your fast.
Because they were doing intermittent fasting back then.
Or just,
not eating for a
when
while.
you're not eating, when you couldn't find any food.
I just killed a squirrel.
Yeah.
I like eating late. I like the going to the restaurant and being the last one there at the end of the night. I feel like
the wait staff loves that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, when you're there like super late, and they're like cleaning up, Casey, and they bring.
You're their
Are you going to leave eventually?
Yeah. I'm going to ask the people from Red Robin because I know how much they like it.
Are you going to leave?
God, if that ever happens to me, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're just gonna finish. I'm so sorry.
That's what
it drives me out of my goddamn mind because my wife loves to hang out and the meal's done. Everything's done. Let's go somewhere else. But we're done. I want to go.
I always
And
worked. Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
good.
I was going to say I always worked back in the kitchen case, and when we would hear a table just came in, and it's like 30 minutes to closing time, you're like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, we've already started closing stuff up at this point.
Is that when you walk out and go, I took a piss in the food?
Yeah.
I don't arrive late. I just like hanging out and being the last one there, and then you get nice service.
Well, that's the wait staff dealing with you then, yeah.
No, I mean, like, honestly, if you're cool and friendly and a good tipper or whatever, I don't think that they hate it. There's Kathy, there's this line where you're like, all right, I'm not going to cross over that line and stay any later than I should.
It's not just me, it's the rest of the wedding reception.
Yeah, no, I just, to me, I don't know. It's a relaxing way to end the night.
I recently went into a deli and it closed at, it was like a late lunch. I had not eaten and I needed to grab something. I'm like, okay, there it is. It was in an area I wasn't familiar with.
Right.
And so I pulled over, I looked at the time and said it closed at 3. And it was like probably, I would say it was like 2:40.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, the door's still open. I saw somebody else walk in. So I went in and they were so angry. There was actually 3 of us. There was a guy that had walked in before me and then somebody that had come in after me. And I was like, well, at least I'm not alone. But you could, and I was like, can I still get the grilled chicken sandwich? And she was like, no, the grill's off. And I was like, right then, I'll just take turkey, whatever you got back there.
Do you pull the Tommy boy routine where you go that whole speech? Right?
Can you turn the fryers back on?
Turn the fryers back on.
Kathy,
want wingy.
they were probably pissed because there were multiple people coming in right at closing
I
time.
guess, but they did not try to hide it at all.
So the shift away from later diners seems to have an after effect on an after effect from the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
So working from home eliminated commutes, and theoretically, the moment that you turn off the computer, you're free. Kids are hungry after school. You typically feed them this early anyway. Why not take everybody out to eat? Citing data from Yelp, the Wall Street Journal reported that restaurants are now seating 10% of their diners between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., double the number of seatings of those at those times in 2019. And remote work has also led to other lifestyle changes beyond restaurant reservation times. In some cases, the post-pandemic workday has also eliminated the cocktail hour that some people observed when they left the office for the day.
Well, that hasn't eliminated in your world, right, Kathy? What time does the wine pour?
Well, I mean, it depends on the day.
That bridge from work to dinner isn't as necessary when you work alone. You can mix a drink as the mood strikes you. And one reason,
little cocktail.
One reason that dinner crowds, the dinner crowd has been pushed earlier is that it benefits restaurants by necessitating fewer hours in which to serve customers. It's now common for restaurants to close around 9 p.m., at least during the week.
To be honest, yeah. So a couple of restaurateurs that I know have been mentioning that fact, that the need to keep the doors open and, keep a staff there past 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's almost gone.
I'm happy, and I don't love this at the same time because my family we eat fairly early, so I'm glad that it doesn't seem a bit of an anomaly because things are trending that way. But I like the available reservations.
Dude, that's the best thing in the world. And that's why sometimes people get pissed off. But I'll always opt for the earlier reservation. Get in there, have the place to yourself. And then you can do it the Nick way, which is go in there closing down.
And he goes and lingers. How long? What's if you're going to do dinner, like how many hours at the table, you think, Nick?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
That's not bad.
That's not too
Listen,
bad.
I really want to clarify this. I don't overstay my welcome.
Okay.
The text message board is
yeah.
An hour and a half is absolutely fine. What I can't stand is you've been at the table for 3 hours. I'm like, first off, they can use this table for other customers. Let's go.
Yep.
Nick, an hour and a half with you and one other person, with you and Andrea?
Yeah, if it's a date night.
Okay.
After you're done eating, you stay for an entire hour and a half.
No.
No, stop. No, because I'm thinking about like when I go out, it's usually an hour. Like it's usually wrapped up in an hour. So that is, you guys stay, hang out, and have a drink after dinner, right?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a dessert guy when I go out for dinner. I like a after dinner cocktail.
Okay. Do you ever have like an espresso or a little cappuccino or
No,
something
because
like
then I can't fall asleep.
It keeps you up?
Yeah.
Oh, I love a cappuccino.
And you're not a dessert
coffee
guy?
Because
I'm surprised.
I eat a lot at dinner and I have so much
You're
sushi.
kidding, really?
Yeah.
Casey, you're going to have to leave. We've
really
run
like
out of food.
Casey doesn't have he doesn't like
I'm
desserts.
not a dessert guy at all.
He's eating dessert right now.
He has a gigantic cookie in his hand. No, Casey, you get and I've been to dinner with Casey many times. We've traveled together. I've seen him at a variety of different restaurants, and and I love his and I know his formula: soup, appetizer, main course, and dessert. Absolutely, every single time. Those 4 things are
every
meal.
Not always appetizer, but if there's a good soup, No. I love soup.
Okay.
And I get so disappointed when the soups that they have are not soups that I'm into. I'm
So does every restaurant? But this isn't an equation for fast food or something like that.
No. Just sit down restaurants. But dude, I don't like Italian wedding soup. I
love Italian wedding soup.
Well, I'm not talking about
you.
I'm not talking about you a-holes, but I will. I will slum it.
I don't like you now.
I will slum it if that's really the only one I got. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Like if the other one is chicken noodle or something like that.
Oh, no, I'll go chicken noodle over Italian wedding.
See, I like chicken noodle, but that seems low rent to me.
Wait, I just want to ask a question.
Okay.
Why don't you like it?
Because it's too good.
What is it that you don't like?
What's that green crap in it?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
It's
fungus.
No. It's spinach. Okay. You don't like spinach?
I don't like spinach.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's why.
I don't like cooked spinach. Raw spinach, not bad.
Okay. I have a movie clip to play for you.
Yay!
And we have something to give away. Let's see if you can identify what movie this food clip is from. Here we go.
My name's Joyce, and I noticed that you have not tasted any of the ambrosia salad that I made especially for you. Allow me.
Ambrosia. All right. 215-263 WMMR. Order up. Let's see what else we got here. Saw this story from earlier in the week. Self-serving soda machines inside McDonald's restaurants will not exist 10 years from now.
Oh, man.
The slow transition away from beverage stations in dining rooms across the country will be completed by 2032, according to McDonald's.
That to me always seems like that's a liability for the restaurant because people refill all the time. It's...
You will still be able to get your refills. The company said in a statement, this change is intended to create a consistent experience for both customers and crew across all ordering points, whether that is McDelivery, the app, kiosk, drive-through, or in-restaurant. They did not clarify whether financial or health factors impacted the decision.
Well, yeah.
Several franchises in Illinois have already made the shift. Store owners, operators said that food safety, theft prevention, so there you go, Steve.
There we go.
And a lack of dine-in customers impacted the decision.
I just learned I was doing it wrong, by the way, that you're not supposed to put your mouth over the nozzle. So I didn't know that.
Somebody should have shown
And then I'm thinking, well, yeah, obviously there are these cups here. I never put 2 and 2 together.
I'm a McDonald's fan. I didn't know that McDelivery existed, and I don't think it's a great delivery food item.
French fries need to be warm, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat McDonald's from the drive-thru or obviously go there, but I don't think I want that delivered to my house.
Okay, why?
I don't think it keeps well upon delivery.
I think fast food keeps better than, restaurant quality food that's delivered because it's not intended to sit in a container and steam for a little while. That's why I'd prefer for dine-in restaurants to sit down and have it there. I think you lose quality when that comes to your house. When it's delivered.
I think I'm a food slut because I don't have. It can be cold. I don't
even fast food.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with cold fries. I have no problem with.
You are a food slut.
Yeah. I mean, you have the reputation of being like a great white shark in your eating patterns, but that's. I think I can go toe to toe with you on like we talked about eating on food sluttery. On eating like Preston cold Chef Boyardee out of the can. You can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
That just made me gag.
I'm a SpaghettiOs whore.
I'm currently living with no kitchen, so I've eaten more cold food over the past couple of weeks. You want to know if cold food is good? Just tell me the item.
What is your cold food of preference?
I actually don't like cold food. It's not the only thing I don't like reheating is like if I've grilled chicken the night before, and let's not joke ourselves. I didn't grill it; somebody else did.
Yeah.
But if I don't like reheating that, so I'll eat chicken cold. I'll throw it on a salad or whatever.
I love like fried chicken out of the refrigerator, not reheated. I don't need to reheat any of that. I don't need to reheat French fries or hamburgers or anything like that. I can eat all of that refrigerator cold, not frozen, obviously, but I don't have to reheat it.
Like a cold hamburger patty, like out of the refrigerator cold? No, thank you.
Okay, so a prepared hamburger
Now-
wrapped up, I could have.
Yeah, so room temperature, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I
But
could eat
not-
burger room temperature, no problem.
But Nick, to talk about the fast food and how if I get fast food, 99 times out of 99, that food doesn't even make it home. Like it's being consumed as I'm driving home or as I'm driving to wherever.
Yeah,
So
do you purchase a temporary, for example, if you're leaving a place and they have fries, do you get a small fry to be
No.
your travel fry?
No, but I
to
mean,
get back to your. In other words, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but no. I probably am the only one here who eats McDonald's with any sort of regularity. And
I never do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a system. Because the burgers that they make, they don't melt the cheese on the burger. They just basically put the cheese on the burger and hope that the heat of the burger will eventually melt that. So knowing that, I have to get some other things to eat while the cheese is melting on the burger.
Okay.
That makes sense to you.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if you are picking up fast food for people, the part of the delivery fee is their French fries.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
They have footage of dudes like standing in the door, like Uber Eats or whatever. And there was one where the dude was actually sipping out of the milkshake.
I remember that. Yeah. You don't know those people, so you can't do that. But if it's for people you know, the French fries are part of the delivery.
Oh my
fee.
God!
Yeah.
Wait, so do they not get?
You put me out.
Do they not get their fries, or you?
They don't get all of their fries.
Yeah.
All right.
They get 95% of their
All right,
fries.
got it,
And they get one half of the bun.
Yeah. All right, we need to find out what movie this clip is from.
My name's Joyce, and I noticed that you have not tasted any of the ambrosia salad that I made especially for you. Allow me.
All right, we are going to go to Sean, see if he knows the answer to that. Hey, Sean, morning.
Good morning, Ed Preston.
Good morning to see you, Sean. All right, what movie is that?
Good Friday, baby. That would be Edward Scissorhands.
You got it, Edward Scissorhands. Yep, the ambrosia salad. Hang on just a second, because we have a prize for you, my friend, and this is what it is.
A $50 gift card to Red Robin.
Yeah.
Somebody will contact you with the information there. And by the way, Red Robin is offering a whole lot of yum for just $10 with their $10 tavern bundle going on now at participating Lehigh Valley Restaurant Group's locations. Offer valid for Diane. Oh, my God. Maybe I should have another bite of my chocolate chip cookie. Offer valid for dine-in only.
All right. We have another movie clip. Let's see if you can identify this film. Here we go.
If you close your eyes, it almost feels like you're eating ready eggs. You know, a bowl of snot. Do you know what it really reminds me of? Tasty wheat. Did you ever eat tasty wheat?
No, but technically neither did you.
Well, that's exactly my point. Exactly. Because you have to wonder now. How do the machines really know what tasty wheat tasted like, huh? Maybe they got it wrong. Maybe what I think tasty wheat tasted like actually tasted like, oatmeal or tuna fish.
215-263 WMMR. A lot of mouth smacking noises
Tons
in
of
that
mouth
particular
smacking.
clip, by the way. All right, order up. Next story. Shares of Hostess brands skyrocketed after J.M. Smucker agreed to buy the maker of Twinkies, Ding Dongs, and other treats for $5.6 billion.
$5.6 billion?
Including $900 million in debt. So Smuckers bought Hostess.
I didn't realize Smuckers was doing that well.
Apparently, they've got enough, and they believe in the product. So
They've opened up a few new Smuckers wells.
The maker of its namesake jellies, Folgers Coffee, and other food products said that it would. So I guess Smuckers owns a lot of brands
Everything,
that we're not aware of. They said that it would be paying $34.25 per share in cash and stock for Hostess, a 21.8% premium to Friday's closing price. This was last Friday. A move that expands its snack offering.
Smuckers also has a military division, Preston.
Oh, I did not know that.
Smuckers is a sort of an endorser of the Preston and Steve show in a weird de facto way. They own Duncan.
Oh,
no kidding.
I didn't know that.
They also own Steve Knott's Berry Farm.
Ooh. Ooh,
Jif.
it's a wonderful park.
Jif, the best of the peanut butters. Jif. And
Choosy Mothers choose Jif.
A bunch of Meow Mix, Milk-Bone.
Choosy Mothers choose Meow Mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're
I don't know why I went so crazy for Milk-Bone. That's what my dogs like.
Okay.
They prefer Milk-Bone.
You're a fan of your dog, so it's all good. Along with its signature snack cake brand, Smucker will also add Hostess manufacturing plants in 5 states and Ontario, Canada, as well as a distribution facility in Kansas. Hostess, approximately 3,000 employees will also join Smucker. So they're a juggernaut.
I'm
man.
glad that they're not firing anybody. I'm glad that iconic brand is not going away.
Yeah.
So that's good.
CEO Mark Smucker explained that the acquisition provides a compelling expansion of our family brands and a unique opportunity to celebrate our focus and delighting consumers with convenient solutions across different meal and snacking occasions. There was one time I was at someone's wedding and there was an Amish gentleman who was at our table and his last name was Smucker. And it was interesting because we were asking him questions about the Amish lifestyle and all that.
Right.
And he told us, so what his business was essentially for horses like tack and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Making all kinds of products for people who own horses.
Right.
I don't know what tack is. I'm sorry.
So they have, I don't know either, Casey. So there's usually like a tack house or something like that that involved, he just left.
I was walking somebody.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Nick will look it up and explain it to you. So
it's a nail, kind of like a short. No, sorry.
Anyway, has to do with horses.
Okay, all right,
moving
cool.
on. That's
Thank you.
he had a website. Believe it or not, he was an Amish gentleman who had a website which was smuckers.com. And guess who wanted that?
Oh boy! So he had that before.
So he had the domain name to it ahead of time, and they bought it from him. He didn't say how much, but it had to have been pretty lucrative.
That used to be quite a business. Is that you would go in and you would buy up all these names, looking at these smaller businesses, just register a whole bunch of domain names and hopefully hit with one. Wow, that's probably worth a ton of money.
So I just read a little bit about the founder of Smuckers. The guy's name's Jerome Monroe, and he got to start. And I'm going to need a ruling from the room on this one because he got to start selling apple butter. I love my father to death. He is a huge apple butter fan.
My dad too.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would have it in the fridge, and I don't know if it's an acquired taste. I never liked that stuff.
Nick, I never even tried it because it looked disgusting.
Gross.
You know what?
Gross. You like it?
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not my favorite, but it's not bad.
All right, I'll try it.
What is it? Is it more of a butter? Or
It's the same thing as tack. Exactly the same.
Okay.
Which, by the way, tack is just equipment made for horses. We just pulled up a definition of it. It's kind of applesauce in its consistency,
right?
But it's a spread essentially that you could put on, bread and biscuits and things like that.
Is there any butter involved there, or
it's like peanut butter case, but made out of apple
biscuits?
I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Oh, there's no butter in it. Okay, we have confirmation from Red Robin that there's no butter in the actual
apple butter.
Apple butter. So, all right. So anyhow, Smuckers bought Hostess, and their shares skyrocketed because of that. All right, we'll see if somebody can get this clip correctly. What movie is this from?
If you close your eyes, it almost feels like you're eating runny eggs.
You know, a bowl of snot.
Do you know what it really reminds me of? Tasty wheat. Did you ever eat tasty wheat?
No, but technically neither did you.
Well, that's exactly my point. Exactly. Because you have to wonder now. How do the machines really know what tasty wheat tasted like, huh? Maybe they got it wrong. Maybe what I think tasty wheat tasted like actually tasted like, oatmeal or tuna fish.
All right, so we're going to go to Bob and see if he knows what movie that is from. Hey, Bob, morning.
Good morning, guys. Yoo-hoo.
Yeah. All right, Bob, what movie is it?
The Matrix.
The Matrix is correct. Yes, absolutely.
And they raise an interesting point.
And here's what we have for you, sir.
You got a $50 gift card to Red Robin's.
Yum.
Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Red Robin.
All right, so I have another story for you here.
All right.
Oh, wait, no, another clip. Another clip. Sorry, I forgot the order that we do this in. All right, this is our next clip. Let's see if you know what movie this is from.
You were so lost you didn't even know what kind of eggs you like. Yes, that's right. With a priest, you wanted scrambled. With a deadhead, it was fried. With the other guy, the bug guy, it was poached. Now it's like, egg whites only. Thank you very much.
All right, 215-263-WMMR. What movie is that from? Now we can hit the music and get to the next story. This is a story about food history, actually.
Okay.
So this is kind of like the
The
historian
historian meets the connoisseur.
and the connoisseur together. And I
And
got
have a
this
baby.
From our friend Roy Perry. He sent this over to me. So I did not know this, but pineapples were once so valuable that people rented them for parties.
So you would not eat them? You would just simply rent them and look at them in amazement?
Yeah. Back in the 1700s, party hosts...
Look at that. Ed's got a pineapple over at the house.
Party hosts and guests looking to make a statement were in the rental market, not for tables or chairs or a tent, but for pineapples. And why? To send a message that they were extravagantly wealthy.
Wow.
Yeah. In the 18th century...
Got 2 pineapples.
A single fruit in Britain could cost upwards of $8,000 in today's money. It was considered that exotic.
That's amazing.
That's the thing. So Christopher Columbus is credited to introducing pineapples to Europe in the 1490s after voyaging to the Americas.
Everybody, this is pineapple. Pineapple, this is everybody.
Dubbed the king of fruits, the pineapple became a symbol of opulence and royalty because of its scarcity. Pineapples were featured in paintings of kings, printed on linens and wallpaper, and even carved into furniture, which is true. You can see
pineapples carved into furniture.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Obtaining a rare pineapple meant that the buyer had money and status, and for that reason, the fruit was also often featured as decor at parties and events. Partygoers in Britain would seek out a pineapple for one night, renting the fruit for a fraction of its price, and sometimes even carrying it around at the party as the ultimate uneaten accessory.
So you want a pineapple date?
By the way,
on the street corner, Preston.
Pineapples are not indigenous to Hawaii.
No.
I found that out. We were at a luau there, and they were telling us the story of pineapples. It's just the climate there is ideal to grow them, but they didn't. But that's why they have. It's such a lucrative business here because they can grow them year round.
The concept of renting a pineapple to impress your friends. So would you have like an Airbnb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Does that include pineapple?
What they do? Import the plant there?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess so.
And the climate is super conducive to it.
Are you talking about in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah. So somehow or another, I don't know where they're native to. Here we go. Nick has it. They're indigenous to South America, where it's been cultivated for many centuries. So yeah, they ended up introducing that in Hawaii, and it turns out to be a perfect place to grow them.
I love pineapple. I
do too.
spent such a chunk of my life having canned pineapple and thinking they were horrible, and then when I had an actual fresh pineapple, I was like, oh my God,
it's the best.
Pineapple's one. I do love pineapple. It's delicious, but it's one of the things I can't. I can only have it in moderation, like very small amounts.
Does it affect your BMs?
No, it's because the acid, right? It's
I guess it came up as when I did the food allergy testing that we actually talked about earlier this week.
It's not a nightshade, right?
No, it's not. But pineapple was very high on the list for me.
Oh,
okay.
That seems weird.
Yeah.
What about, Kathy, if you hollow out the pineapple and put in alcohol? Is that bad for you?
No, that's like absolutely
that's
perfect.
medicine. That's like a vitamin drink for Kathy.
When I said in moderation, that's what I meant.
Yeah. And don't forget in your shopping cart, put it in there upside down.
Upside
Tell
down.
everybody you're a swinger.
Correct. Yes.
All right.
Wait, you real quick pineapple story upside down. When we went to spring training,
Yeah.
I had my pineapple suitcase. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I made a comment about it.
Right,
yeah.
you did, and I was pulling it off of the bag at baggage. You know, when we went downstairs at the baggage claim, I was pulling it off, and somebody goes, "That's an interesting suitcase," and I was like, "It's not upside down."
Oh, you met a swinger at the luggage carousel.
Approached you. That's funny. All right, what clip? What movie is this clip from? Here we go.
You were so lost you didn't even know what kind of eggs you like. Yes, that's right. With a priest, you wanted scrambled. With a deadhead, it was fried. With the other guy, the bug guy, it was poached. Now it's like, egg whites only. Thank you very much.
All right, let's see if Katie knows the answer to that. Katie, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Katie, what movie is it from?
Runaway Bride.
You are correct. Hang on a second, Katie, and here's the prize that we have for you.
You have a $50 gift card to Red Robin. Do not miss the $10 Tavern Bundle going on now, which includes your choice of any Tavern Double Burger plus bottomless fries and a beverage. Red Robin.
Yum. Hey, Case, should we wrap it up there?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm sorry that we only had 3 connoisseur stories.
First, we only get half of the cowbell game this week.
I apologize.
And now a truncated connoisseur.
I just want to do an overall apology
By the way,
for the cowbell game in general.
No, I'm deadly. I liked it. I hope we do the other part because you have like 8 remaining, right?
We do, yes.
And honestly, there's only so many cowbell songs.
This is true.
I enjoyed it.
All right, we'll do it another time, I promise, as well as the Connoisseur. We do need to take a break. Before we take a break, though, I want to give a little mention to this. Our good friend, John Dorenzi, who we've known for years and years. He was, for the longest time, he was our beer guy, man.
And the nicest. You've been, whether you know it or not, you've been to events that John Dorenzi was absolutely instrumental in making happen.
Yeah, so he's a beer rep. Okay, so any of these events that we do that involve beer, John was always behind, or he would help us get things that we needed for giveaways or for trips or whatever. And a lot of times the listener involved in this. John needs a kidney transplant. He is trying to find a living donor if possible. We love John to death and we want to help him out. There's an event that is coming up. We have information at PrestonandSteve.com if you want to see this, but there's an event coming up on November 18th. It's at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly, and you can get tickets in advance. In fact, you have to get tickets in advance. And it's an afternoon event. It's like from 1 to 4. So we hope that you'll take a look at this and maybe support or reach out to people that you know would be interested in helping out someone in need who is looking for a living donor. Just take a peek at this on PrestonandSteve.com when you get a chance. I want to make sure that I mentioned that. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a moment. Bizarre File stories are on the way when we return, so stay there.
You know it. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna be the man who's coming home to you.
Yes, you got that right.
I'm really ginger, and I've got a brother here, and he's also equally as ginger as me.
Case, what do we have for?
We've got a case of Yard's Rival IPA right now.
Am I actually winning? Is this real?
We'll give it to you.
You're just being sarcastic right now?
This is actually the citizenship test you never took. So.
Should we do one more?
One more.
Yes. Case, which one should we?
You know what? The one that you have, I love.
Okay, all right, let's try this last one for Barnes.
Oh, I know this song. Oh, I should have just quit while I was ahead. I know the tune, but I get voice in my brain.
Yeah, I'll give you the artist.
Hold on. The melody should be kicking in. Right here, I think. There we go.
I got nothing.
Don't know that one.
I know it. It's a very good song.
Peter Gabriel?
Yeah, Peter Gabriel.
The name of the song is Salisbury Hill.
Oh God! I can't believe I didn't get Peter Gabriel. I got the Pretenders, but I didn't get Peter Gabriel.
That's incorrect. I'm sorry, Barnes. You didn't get it right.
We're going to have to take back the download and the beer.
Yeah.
So.
Man, what was I going to win? That was like a Prius, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was. It was. Yeah. And unfortunately,
I can't believe it. I know that song.
That's all right.
It's because you brought me in here like early in the morning. You did it deliberately, didn't you? Just to shame me in front of all these people on the radio.
You didn't get a chance to, get ready for it and practice.
I'm a musician. I'm not meant to be up at these hours. It's fundamentally against our DNA.
I wanted to ask you about writing because I was reading an article in Rolling Stone about you that said you have a difficult writing while you have a difficult time writing when you're happy. It's better when there are things going on in your life.
That's why I pay a troupe of men to sort of beat me consistently in the studio.
You want to be in a constant state of misery.
Yeah, exactly. Blunt objects mainly. Things they find outside in the street, sticks, stones.
Yeah, but sure. No.
But the
doorknobs
songs are
in a sack.
Doorknobs in a sack.
Just got to keep me on my toes, I don't want to get too comfortable.
Oranges in a sock.
Yeah, it's surprising that you're going with doorknobs instead of something a little bit more malleable.
Listen, I don't tell them how to do their jobs, okay?
Hey, we're the professional beaters. Let us do what we do.
Are you an only child?
Me?
Yeah.
No, what makes you say that?
Because only childs are usually weird.
No, I think I was dropped a lot as a baby.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to get the root of it all. No, you have a great sense of humor.
That's what I keep telling everybody.
Does that help things, keep things light when you're on the road? You just try to have a good time?
It does sort of quell the crippling depression that plagued me from a young age. I didn't know we were going to bring that up for this interview.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to get you
wound.
Maybe it's inspiring you to write Day after the season 13 finale of America's Got Talent, finalist Michael Ketterer was arrested for domestic violence.
Whoa.
Well, it shows the system works because he only came in 5th place.
What did he do? Was he a singer or what?
He packed luggage.
No, I don't know. Michael Ketterer is his name, and I don't know what he did. We're looking at a picture of him with his arms open at a microphone, so that leads to believe that he may
did a
have
John
been
McCain impression.
A singer and impersonated John McCain. So those are the two things you can clearly get from this photograph here.
He's going to be playing a Vegas casino.
It's uncanny.
Yeah.
He just does John McCain and that's it?
Yeah.
What would it be like if John McCain sang the songbook of Air Supply?
A loving tribute to
one of our nation's heroes and the kings of soft rock.
I don't even have any air supply.
One of our nation's heroes. You're probably doing
so
here.
lost without you.
I'm sorry.
I knew you were right for leaving me so long.
That's very specific talent.
It was the greatest John McCain Air Supply show I'd ever seen.
And I'm bringing back my whole family. It's patriotic and it's romantic.
All right. So anyhow, I guess he was a singer and a John McCain impersonator. So let me go to here. More broken ribs. I have. It says Walper. Is your name Walper?
Walter.
Honestly, wouldn't you at least say
Walper?
Is this Judge Wapner calling in?
You got a nickname now, Walter.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you hear what happened to old Walper.
That's not even a mistype. I'm looking at the T and the P are like nowhere near each other on the keyboard.
Walper.
Name's Walper.
Let me get that straight. Your actual name is Walper. And what happened to you? So what happened to you, Walter?
All right. Well,
All right.
I've broken my hand.
Yeah.
I've fractured all my ribs.
Were these fights over your weird name, Walper?
It's not my name.
His guy's name's Walper. I'm gonna punch you.
But at least you got a great nickname today,
Walper.
Well, hang in there, brother. Okay.
From Touchstone Pictures, the inspiring story of a man named Walper. I've seen him. He's got some medical issues, but the worst thing is his name is Walper. And then a young therapist came into his life. Hi, I'm Kathy Romano. We're going to change that P to a T.
Simple as that.
And then his life turned around.
I'm the head of a Fortune 500 company. And I can do the saber dance.
That morning show's not making fun of me anymore.
Name and introduction, darling, my heart filled the room. I knew it was you. Come back in my life.
Shows tonight at 7:30. Tickets
Wow, we
are
got Mello in here.
on sale now. World Cafe Live. That's
Real
Tommy
mellow.
Davidson, guys.
You know,
Wow.
Because even the beds you guys got here are funky. You know, that musical bed for that company just never. Then I come in, you know, it's like.
No, we love that.
Yeah,
That's really nice, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
You wanted to be a singer initially, right? That was that preceded any thoughts of comedy.
That's the start.
Yeah.
With a spoon and with tinfoil on it, standing on the table.
Yeah.
With the family around.
Yeah.
You know, and
was jazz always your sort of foundational go-to musically?
No. I can't really remember what I started with, but I started with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think I got into soul when I discovered I was black.
Yeah.
But before that, I grew up in Laramie, Wyoming, and Fort Collins, Colorado, on communes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like you know, Iron Butterfly. You know,
Like hippie communes?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Can I jump in here? Because I'm so curious about that.
Yeah.
I love a hippie band, right? Like they're like Grateful Dead and stuff like that. I'm so not enamored by because like so sometimes I would come out of these concerts, right?
Okay.
And there would be these people who would hand you these flyers to come and live on these communes. And it seemed a little appealing to me. It really did.
You're the guy.
Yeah. I don't think I would push my 5-year-old there though. I saw a lot of stuff at the communes. I was like, okay, I ain't put together till way later.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, boy.
Right. But I was a young adult at the time. I was like 22, 23 years old, and trying to find my way, kind of lost in this world. Like a lot of young 20-year-olds are.
Well, you weren't. Hey, you had to go because that's where your family was. I was telling you, Tommy, off air that I just started jumping into your book, Living in Color. What's funny about me? And I was telling these guys last night, like, this is an amazing freaking life. And you made mention of the fact when you found out you were black, and explain how you came into this world when you were born. It's a brutal story that has now turned into something great. But
yeah. I was actually abandoned in the trash in the year 1966. I was found.
Yeah.
So I was 2.
Yeah.
Maybe under 2.
Yeah.
Coma, starved, contusions in the head, the whole night. But my mother, who found me randomly in the trash.
It's just
amazing. So she was a white woman from Wyoming, and her and her husband were down there in Greenville, Mississippi,
which is like one of the poorest
in the country. So they're teachers at Colorado State, and they heard Kennedy say, "If you look back on this time in history, would you be able to be a white American?"
WMMR.
Thanks to Kathy. Thanks to you, Kathy.
And thanks to you, Preston.
Marissa has requested use of the microphone. And so therefore, we now give you Marissa Magnotta.
Oh, thank you, Preston. No, I just want to say a quick hello to a guy I met last night on the subway heading to the Eagles game. His name is Manny. He was really nice. A huge fan of the show. As he was getting on the subway, he looked at me. He's like, Marissa? I was like, yeah, and he came and said hi. He told me about a really nice story about his boss who introduced him to our show years ago, and he's like obsessed with the show, listens every morning. He works out in Bethlehem, and he has his whole crew working. The boss that introduced him just passed away a few weeks ago. I know, super sad, but he was so sweet, and he talks about how he talks about the show to his wife every day. And
that's awesome.
Everything, so just hello to Manny.
Excellent.
Want a shirt?
Yeah,
sure. This one's from Manny. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. All right, let's kick a Friday off. Froggy, the band right there, they played on the Preston and Steve show side stage at the MMRBQ last year. This year, not only are we doing great live performances with the live band karaoke performers, we have 10 of them all together, but our buddy Don McCloskey is going to be performing on stage. Psyched about that. And we have the rye bread cart.
Yeah, baby.
And in fact, it is sitting next to Casey, and it is fully loaded with a variety of awesome rye breads.
I am humbled by this collection of rye bread. I thought maybe one or two, but there's all sorts of rye breads, Preston, ready to go.
Yeah, and in fact, I don't think it's going to last long. I think the rye bread is going to go, I think we're going to be done in seconds.
To be honest, that's why I think, Nick, you need to get on manning it quickly because it is, honestly, it's the realization of a lifelong dream. You and your brothers wanted to start a rye bread cart.
Right, we finally made it.
And if you don't see it, just listen for this.
Rye bread.
And we need to get him a megaphone or something like that.
We have it.
Please.
And listen for Nick's call.
How much am I selling it for?
Of rye bread. Are we selling it?
No.
We're just giving it out?
Yeah, we decided.
All right.
I'm going to pocket some of that.
It's going to
should, though. Charge $10 a slice.
It'll be tomorrow over the side stage, so make sure you come and see us. All right, let's do the B-File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Got junk and want it gone? Then you want J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Veteran and military, family-owned and operated. You can visit J-Dog Junk Removal, RDSC.com. That's J-Dog Junk Removal, RDSC.com. An 8-year-old boy was accidentally shot when a burn barrel with guns inside of it was set on fire.
Why would you do that?
The boy was cleaning up a backyard with his grandmother and other children at the time of the Monday incident. A burn barrel was filled with yard waste and then set on fire. But apparently 2 guns were under the debris in the burn barrel.
Who put the guns in the burn barrel?
And
Brad?
And a shot went off while the boy was standing next to the barrel.
It's insane.
The boy's family heard 2 more shots as they rushed him to the hospital. The 8-year-old suffered a through-and-through gunshot to his lower leg and was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The incident appears to be accidental and negligent, according to the sheriff's office. A woman has died from botulism after eating sardines at a Bordeaux restaurant, and 12 other people, mostly foreigners, are being treated for the rare condition, French health officials said on Wednesday.
Botulism.
Yeah, it's a serious neurological illness typically brought on by eating food that has been improperly preserved. The city center restaurant had preserved sardines itself, and the woman had checked in the hospital near Paris. After traveling back with her partner, she returned home and died there. Her partner remains in intensive care, too.
I didn't know that botulism could be such a risk.
Bless you.
Because I'll make a sardine sandwich, and instead of bread, I'll use raw chicken.
In total, 12 people were still receiving emergency treatment Wednesday. 5 were on respiratory support. They include American, Irish, German, and Canadian nationals.
Oh, my God.
A German traveled home for treatment, as did a resident of Barcelona, Spain. All of them had eaten at the restaurant, the Chin Chin Wine Bar, between September 4th and 10th, when there are typically large numbers of tourists in the southwestern town famous for wine and food. They all had sardines that had been stored by the restaurant owner himself in jars.
By the way, I hate sardines.
Oh, they're horrible. Botulism is deadly in 5 to 10% of cases because of toxin that can be generated by Clostridium botulinum bacteria when preserved food is insufficiently sterilized.
You just did a Harry Potter spell, didn't you?
I did. So check your underwear now. There's a little surprise in there. Authorities were still running tests at the restaurant.
You're right. It's a sardine, Preston.
Adding, it could not rule out further cases of botulism, which has an incubation period of up to several days. A total of 25 people could be affected, they said. So pretty messed up.
Yeah, you don't hear botulism much these days.
All right, Colorado wildlife authorities are reminding park visitors to keep their distance from wild animals after a moose trampled a hiker.
Oh. Why don't you forget the moose for a moment?
By the way, I think I have 3 moose stories this morning. On Tuesday, 2 hikers with 3 dogs, all on their leashes, spotted a cow moose and its calf. The hikers said that they were looking at the moose for some time. When they were done,
take a picture, it lasts longer.
When they were done, they tried to leave while maintaining distance from the animal, but the moose kept moving closer to them. As the moose approached, one of the hikers' dogs began barking. That prompted the moose to come at the hikers, trampling one of them. And they weigh thousands of pounds, man.
You cannot even imagine the size of these things. There's that footage of the moose running through the suburban area.
Yeah.
And when you see it in the context of regular cars and front doors of houses, you realize how enormous they are.
They were able to get the moose off and tried to run away, but the moose...
I just got a moose off.
Continued to chase after them down the trail. The moose stopped chasing the hikers, giving them a chance to get into their car. The trampled hiker sustained minor injuries and was able to walk and go to the hospital for medical treatment. By the way, this is the 3rd reported moose attack on humans this year in Colorado.
Did you see the footage? I think it was coming out of Yellowstone yesterday, Preston. There was a mother bear with her cubs.
No.
And there were people running to go see the see the cubs. I mean, it is the absolute worst bear scenario you could possibly have. And one of the guys had a kid on his shoulders.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
In June, a man told officials that he was surprised by a cow moose and her calf rounding a hairpin turn in a trail. The moose then charged the man, knocking him down before trampling him and stomping him several times. He was taken to a nearby hospital and treated for injuries that were not life-threatening. All right, a retired doctor's luxury yacht that was raided last week was allegedly the set of porno films, according to the Nantucket Current. The yacht's owner, 69-year-old Scott Burke,
You're going to be my regular Saturday night.
It's one of the
baby.
scenes.
Faces drug and weapons charges after
That's from
police
Sperm Ahoy.
Said they found drugs, guns, and prostitutes on board during a wellness check in Nantucket Harbor.
Yeah, they're doing very well.
A search warrant affidavit cited the current says the woman at the center of the wellness check told a friend people on the yacht were, quote, doing drugs all weekend long, and people on the boat had been making pornographic films. She reportedly told
Maybe you can help me with my dinghy.
she reportedly told her friend that she did not feel safe and was afraid to be on the boat, prompting him to alert authorities of the situation.
I wonder how many yachts like that are used for porn.
The doctor, Burke, who police described as extremely uncooperative, has denied having knowledge of the drugs on board, and his lawyer has said that he has late-stage cancer. So I guess that makes it okay.
Yeah.
You have to understand.
Yes, it was all the porn and the drugs, but he has cancer.
Yeah. All right, and then finally, we will end with this one. So photographer Atsuyuki Oshima captured a rare photo of a macaque monkey exhibiting some cowboy behavior. The photo, taken on Japan's Yakushima Island, is titled Forest Rodeo.
So like a cowboy macaque?
Yep. So Oshima snapped the photo just after the monkey catapulted itself onto a Sika deer using a tree as a springboard. And essentially, he was riding the deer. Macaques have been observed riding Sika deer before, scientists said. As Oshima suggested, sometimes the monkeys just take the rides for fun.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
These native Japanese species have long coexisted and even share a symbiotic relationship. The deer clean up after the monkeys, eating the fruit that the primates leave behind. In return, the monkeys groom the deer by hopping on their backs and pulling off bugs.
That's amazing.
Other times, a macaque's motivations may be less pure. Both male and female macaques have been caught trying to get it on with Sika deer during mating season.
So is Sika deer trim primo stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
oh, yeah. Oh, God, it's so good. It could be my regular Saturday night thing.
Both the male and females will try to have sex with the deer.
Him and her got it on.
Nick has pulled up.
No, they didn't.
Nick was watching a video of one bang a deer, just to let you know. Oshima said that didn't seem to be occurring in this case.
1 second, Preston. Nick, could you send me that video?
The frame is one of 16 highly commended photos in this year's Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition.
It didn't take long to find a monkey banging a deer video.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know.
Well, listen, who are we to judge?
Right? Yeah.
Who amongst us hasn't yearned to at least one point bang a deer?
The deer doesn't seem to mind.
I think the deer's all right.
Well, listen, they got a thing going on, as they say.
Yeah. All right, and that's it. That's the last story I have for you in the bizarre file. All right, we're going to take a break, and as we do so, let's give something away. I have a case of Philly Favorite from our friends at Iron Hill Brewery. You have to be, obviously, at least 21 years of age to win this. So we'll take caller number 22 at 215-263-WMMR. It's a hazy IPA. It's perfect for all your tailgate needs this season. Available in 4-packs and 12-packs wherever craft beer is sold. So it's the Philly Favorite from Iron Hill Brewery. We'll be back in a moment. Our friend Justin Willman will be in our studio.
Yeah.
Stay with us.
Right.
So they wanted to do that. So they went down there and immunized kids and did that kind of stuff, and did voting drives. And they met my natural mom when they were doing those movements. They came back down there to pick up a program they were doing, and she was gone. You know, and my mother's nosy.
Right.
You know, she said she's gone. Well, where'd she go? And we think she went to Detroit, but she left her youngest baby at such and such a house. My mom is nosy and went to the house.
Right.
And the kids doing drugs in there, and it was an abandoned house. So she said something told me when I walked out the door to look under this big tire that was on the top of the trash, and I moved it, and your foot was there.
Oh my God!
My God!
You know, and she said she moved the trash and had a torn shirt on and said, "I will be president in 20," and the rest was torn.
Wow.
It took me to the hospital. I stayed there 90 days. I lived, went to Fort Collins, Colorado, where I grew up until I was 5. Grew up on farms and meadows and
so all this time
animals and
with her.
With her and my brother and my sister.
Yeah. Okay.
My sister's was my same age. So we're twins, really, but she's blonde.
You related something. You relate something. You relate something, and I saw also reading some interviews with you, and you brought up this point that I thought because you'd say, okay, cats can give birth to multiple colors, and you just thought that was you.
I thought that was me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in farms and animals are everywhere. So we saw litters. Me and my kid's sister play with kittens and puppies and all the time. And I noticed that it could be a black cat. It would have a white one, speckled one.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 black ones, a brown one. Or a horse. Could be it could be a brown horse and have a white coat.
Yeah.
So I thought that that's how we are. You know what I mean? So I'm a brown one.
Right.
I'm a brown one of whatever we are.
It's such a pure,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
innocent concept.
Yeah, until we got to Washington D.C.
How old were you then?
I was 5. And we moved in there in '68.
So you started like self-awareness around that age?
Oh, way self-awareness, boy. We moved there the week that King got shot.
Right.
So we moved in during the riots. Me and my sister on the ground. Me and my brother. Tear gas, fires and. Okay, so we settled in this inner city neighborhood in D.C. because they broke up,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of jobs in D.C. and we come out to play with the kids, and they beat our ass, man.
Wow.
Every day, and they were calling my brother and my sister White Cracker, and calling me White Cracker Lover.
Because your mom was white.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just went to her and said, "Why are they calling me White Cracker Lover? I like graham crackers." You know what I mean? Like
they're better. They taste better.
Oh, it's so sad though when
You know
the
what I mean?
innocence is ruined.
Yeah, it's just like, so she said, well, that's what people our color call people. That's what people your color call people our color when they don't like them.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what color am I? She said, you're black. I said, no, I'm brown.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the crayons. She said, yeah, but that's what we call you. Anyway. And so then I moved out to it got so bad, we moved out to the suburbs of Wheaton, Maryland. That's the first time I heard the N-word.
Right.
I got the FCC note, by the way. Yeah.
So it got exponentially worse.
The
suburbs, which you thought would be...
I was being chased by grown men saying, kill the Nick.
Yeah.
And I was barely getting in the house, and I'd be riding my bike, and a whole truckload of teenagers kill them.
Yeah.
So I was running in the house, barely making it. They were throwing stuff through the window, shooting, and it was crazy. So
this is late 60s?
This is 69 now.
Okay.
I remember everything,
Yeah.
So I go to my mom and I go, who are these ends? We got to stay away from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They must be really bad people.
Right.
Oh, and that's when she said, that's what our people call your people when they don't like them. Our color. And I said, well, what color are you? She said, I'm white. I said, you're not white, you're like beige.
Kids are so literal.
This is the stupidest damn thing in the world. You guys are mad at each other for colors you not really are.
But in that innocent thing, you're speaking absolute truth.
Yeah, it's like the dumbest thing, you know, but it is the world. So we moved to an integrated neighborhood, and this is a real story, and I'm sticking with it. The white teenagers chased me again.
Yeah.
Killed the neck.
Yeah.
But when the black teenagers came in front of me, the white teenagers went the other way.
Yeah.
And I've been black since that day.
Yeah. Right.
And it's been an education.
Right.
Well, so you,
You know what I mean?
you became going back to the earlier point. That's when you became aware of yourself, and that's when you got into the soul music and things of that nature. You're exposed to that.
I pretty much came aware of it as soon as I got to D.C.
Okay.
Because when I got to D.C., my mom is always make friends with everybody.
Right.
So my mom had all these black friends right away. So and I think she did it on purpose
to give you some cult.
She knew that I was talented, so she'd invite them over and put on James Brown.
Wow. Did she have any inclination towards this? Any musical capabilities or nothing?
My family is so far from music.
Yeah.
Cowboys from Wyoming.
Right.
But I was spoiled by them. All the love I got, and I was the spoiled child. And so I'd sing "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud."
Yeah.
Just because it was a song. But when I got in first grade, I put up the Black Power fist, doing the
Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got in trouble, and
so you were making up for lost time.
Hey, listen, my mom, she did it all on purpose. This took me time to look back on it, but she came into that office, boy, and she looked at the principal and the teachers, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And they were like, "He put up the Black Power fist." She said, "So what? That's all he knows about himself right now. If you want to teach him something new, teach him something new. He just learned the Pledge of Allegiance just like the other students. So teach him. That's what he knows about himself so far.
It's such a fascinating, unintentional experiment. In a bizarre way, not to call it an experiment, but it's something that is just and this is, by the way, let people know again, Living in Color. What's funny about me? It's just a side promotion, but I just started it. It's riveting.
Tommy, is your mom still alive?
No.
Okay.
No.
When did she pass?
She passed away probably about 12 years ago.
Okay. What an
But
amazing
still
woman.
alive.
I would love
Still
to talk
alive.
to her. Yeah.
But she got to see a lot of your success, though.
I'm a greatest accomplishment.
Yeah.
I'm a greatest accomplishment. That's the sweet reunion is about her coming back to me through my daughter.
So who are your inspirations on the musical side? Obviously, we know the comedy. We're going to talk about the comedy. But
I'd have to just say the Association, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Grand Funk, Parliament, Rick James, Cameo, Fleetwood Mac, Kansas. Carry on my wayward son. It's all in me, man. The Led Zeppelin Kool-Aid commercial. You need Kool-Aid.
You need Kool-Aid.
I ain't fooling. Want a whole lot of Kool-Aid. All right. Peter Frampton. Do you feel like I do?
Yeah. That's a wide exposure.
It's just, it all came my way, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So the show that is tonight. What can we expect?
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
I'm mixing now music with comedy. The saxophonist I'm playing with is excellent. So I'm doing comedy and doing music at the same time.
So your history, obviously we know you from the skit comedy in Living Color and obviously the movies and other the characters you've done and so on and so forth. But your stand-up career was pretty robust, and you got into the Comedy Store, Mitzi Shore.
You been reading.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you were on a bill with Richard
I thought
Pryor.
he owned the Sixers.
Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, correct?
Yeah, when I first got in.
Wow. So you're
finally got in the main room after 3 years of hitting the pavement.
And the main room's where you wanted to ascend to the
that's
main
where you
room.
wanna be.
And so, be careful what you wish for. You end up on that bill, and you were middling for that.
Yep. And we all had the same time.
Explain what that was like. Give us a taste of that. You
that
have
was like
arguably the greatest comedic minds in stand-up of all time.
It was opportunity meets preparation and desperation. But I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. I'd been put through the fire. I was just about to go home from Hollywood. My mom sent me a couple of days earlier, those big legal pads that used to have the long yellow paper.
Yeah.
She put in magic marker. She folded up a $20 bill and put in magic marker. Don't leave, and I know you need the $20. And it was just a couple of days before this happened.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so I get on the stage and
MMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. Our next guest, you have probably seen his show on Netflix called Magic for Humans. Its third season is available to stream now.
Pretty damn good.
But why do that when you can see him live tonight at the Keswick Theater? It is the Magic for Humans in-person tour, and Justin Willman is here.
In person.
Nice to see you,
Good morning.
sir. Nice
Thanks
to see
for
you
having me.
live and in person.
I know, right?
As opposed to via Zoom, I think last time
Much
we spoke.
better in person.
So it is, definitely. How have you been, man?
I've been pretty good.
Excellent.
I've been pretty good. I've been making a new show for the past year.
Not Magic for Humans?
It's a
show?
magic show. It's not Magic for Humans.
Okay.
But it's for the flicks, the same folks.
Okay, yeah.
But it's a prank show. So it's involved so much lying and now that I'm done, I feel.
Is it hard to step out? So like a method actor, for example, will talk about having to detox from
shake a roll.
So
right?
So when you are scamming, and we talk about the people, the Jackass crew.
Yeah.
How they ever were able to do that or sleep at night without one eye open? Does that affect you the same way when you're consistently lying to people?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm always lying. Because I'm a magician, so there's always some deception.
It's
So normally, it's an hour long, but some of these ruses have been months long. So I guess I'm gonna kind of go hard honest. I mean, tonight maybe I'll just tell everything how I reveal my secrets.
Everything revealed. Everything revealed tonight.
People don't actually want that. That's
Yeah.
no, because there's two types of people who come to see me in person. There's people who love magic because they love the way it makes them feel. They do not want to know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that those people bring with them. And those are the only two types of people.
We've talked about this.
The plus ones.
It's the funniest. It's the funniest thing that some people sometimes get angry, and I'm like, I listen. I'm fascinated by it, and even if I know how it works, I'm even fascinated by it. It's like I know it's not Merlin magic, but it's the illusion. It's the thought. It's the mechanics. All of that is amazing. That's what makes the show.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by magic, and while I am watching an illusion, I am curious about how it works.
Yeah.
But I'm not hyper focused on I got to figure this out. I'm more focused on the skill of the person that is able to pull that off.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know how much time and effort it takes into that, especially the sleight of hand stuff, because that's just agility and ability and hours and hours and hours and hours of practice. The bigger,
Illusions.
spectacle illusions are, I know that there's a lot of mechanical things involved in that, and that's not quite as impressive to me personally. It's cool to see.
You know that that it's maybe an architect or an engineer who did all the magic in advance, and
Right.
this person's just gesturing.
Right.
Illusions are a lot of gesturing.
Yeah.
Big
Right.
boxes.
That was David Copperfield's. He was a gesturer, big time.
and gyrating.
And gyrating. That's right.
You got to gyrate.
And dating Claudia Schiffer.
Well,
to that point, those guys and those illusions, David Copperfield, I think his, and maybe you can confirm this, he'll work with a lot, his shop of people, his people who do the illusions for him, they can be hired by other magicians as well. Is that correct?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's a small little group of these, magic. They call them magic consultants.
Okay.
Just such a cool title on a business card. I'm a magic consultant.
Yeah.
I will consult you on your magic. And, it's hard to invent new tricks that haven't been done before.
Yeah.
But we try. And people, they think they want to know how they work, but they really don't. Because magic is like hot dogs.
It's like hot dogs?
You
don't really want to know.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Masked Magician hit the TV show? Were you studying magic at that time?
I was.
You were young at that point, I would imagine.
I was so torn. I was probably a teenager. I think I remember feeling like angry because I was like, you're doing the one thing you're not supposed to do. But also, some of those tricks I had always wanted to know how they worked.
Yeah.
So finally I knew.
Do you know what's cool though about that, which I love too, is that I think that created another generation of magicians who were able to use our expectation about how the illusion was done from learning the secret magician or whatever the hell his name was, and then sort of turning that around and making another illusion or trick based on that, which is kind of cool as well. I've seen that happen on the Penn and Teller show.
100%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of magicians who became inspired to become a magician from that show.
Right,
So
right.
I guess, you can't be too mad.
It's an interesting little political thing that happens in the magic world. As a kid, like many people, you may want to learn this and do your little magic shows at birthday parties and things like that. So I kind of dabbled with that a little bit when I was a kid. And there was a magic shop that I would go to. And
They were the best.
In order to find out the secret to the illusion, you had to buy it. You had to pay. If you paid for it, it was okay.
Yeah.
Betraying that to someone without paying for it was considered a big time no-no.
They say the secret is told when the trick is sold.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that.
And there are no refunds.
It's right. Yeah.
Because the secret is what you're buying. I remember I would buy a trick and it would break the next day and I'd be like, come on, can I have my $40 back? Because tricks aren't cheap. And
Right.
When you're a kid. And they're like, no, the secret is what you bought. And I was like, well, the secret's worthless without this plastic thing working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a magic store. Was it in St. Louis?
In St. Louis.
Okay, yeah.
On the landing. Gibbles.
Gibbles.
It was half. It was
When
a
did you
half
open?
magic shop. This was probably I was taking lessons in '94.
Okay.
95. It was half magic shop, half adult novelty store.
Okay.
So you had to be 18 to enter or have a parent because it had, bachelorette party supplies. You could imagine what most of the place was filled with.
Yeah. Penises.
Yeah, penises, lots of them, very phallic.
Any of those for magic tricks?
Well, I would bring my mom in there and she would be, because the magic counter was one thing and then there was all the other stuff, but everything looks magical there. So she would point to like a penis hat and be like, what, innocently, what does that do?
What is that?
And I'd be like, Mom, well, let me tell you how it works.
How old were you when you discovered you loved it and then had some abilities in making these things go well?
It was probably 14. I think I started when I was 13. I broke my arms, both of them, at the same time. Was riding my bike with rollerblades on. This is before I was a magician, and also before I was smart. Apparently,
We've talked about
this.
We were parallels of Preston because Preston broke his wrist and became a drummer.
Right, and we have the St. Louis connection.
Yeah,
That's right.
So
I own a large penis collection as well.
Yes.
All
You were
these
taking
similarities.
lessons at the penis shop, and I was at the magic shop, and never the twain shall meet. But it was pretty quickly clear that it was the first thing that I was like above average at.
Okay.
Everything else I was fine. Sports, saxophone, talking. But magic was like, oh, you got something here. Not
bad.
So I dove in.
It's such a fascinating thing. As I said before, anytime a magician comes in, I had my magic hits, and I loved it so much, and I wanted to pursue it so much. And the trick for me was finding anyone who gave a rat's ass about my tricks, and that's the hard part. So at the school you were taking lessons, right?
Yeah, I was.
Would they set up little performance things so you could try it in front of people, or was that the onus on you to do that?
Go like about my life with about 20 minutes of material in my pockets at any time. And anytime there was a lull or someone seemed receptive, I would launch into my shtick.
Yeah.
And then I started doing my first regular gig was at a Shoney's restaurant doing balloon animals, face painting, and then once every kid had a balloon animal or their face painted, then I was allowed to do magic.
Okay.
So I was really bad at balloons and face.
So there's that scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin where he does a coin trick, and she goes, "So you've been walking around all day with this giant coin in your pocket, and you were kind of living that life."
Yeah.
I know. And it's like a 13-year-old girl, and she's
Yeah.
like, wow. You are a loser. Again, like I said, magic's like hot dogs.
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
There's a great scene in the show Love on, I believe it was on HBO, where the guy, he takes the girl to the Magic Castle because he's a, aspiring magician, and he's just loving it. And she's just like, she just doesn't get it. She doesn't like to play the part. It's like going to a wrestling match, like, what's going on in the ring is just a show or whatever, but you play the part, but some people just can't get past that.
Yeah, she's a plus one. She's a plus one.
She's exactly the plus one.
And I love that. One of the funniest things that ever happened to me in real life was there was a guy, I was at a bar with my brother and sister-in-law, and there was a guy who was doing magic, right? He had a lit cigarette and put that, and made it disappear, and I know how he did that. But at one point, he's doing this thing where he's trying to get one coin to go from my right hand to my left hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And all the while he's taking my watch off, and I have no idea. But my sister-in-law, she's like, oh my God, Casey, your watch! Like, because she was watching it, and she ruined it. She didn't know. She thought my watch was falling off. And she ruined the joke in the middle of the act.
So that's that's the guest that the guest brings.
I know.
To the
Did the coin ever make it to the other hand?
I don't even remember. I just
Who
remember
cares at
not
that
losing my.
point?
Let me ask you. So, comedians have to handle hecklers. It's just a skill you have to learn in order to survive in that trade. Magicians, what's the version of a heckler when you're doing a show? Somebody who points out how it works, and do you have to learn how to handle those people?
Well, listen, magicians by and large don't get a lot of respect. Magicians are, I would say, the magicians are the chiropractors in the entertainment industry.
I disagree with that.
It just depends on the audience. Right. So there are some people who just think that my presence is there to challenge their intelligence. So they'll kind of whisper to somebody. If you're on stage, you can tell someone's kind of narrating their director's commentary about how it works. Or if you're doing walk-around magic up close and personal, they'll reach in your pockets. That's probably the most invasive heckler.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come here, let me see your pockets. Or like after that cigarette would vanish, you know, where they would grab.
Yeah.
They'd start feeling you up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that ain't going to work. I wanted to just, go ahead, Preston.
Well, I wanted to ask, are there tricks of the trade of how to handle people like that?
You make them disappear.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you have some sort of a retort to that, or do you try to win them over, or do you just glance over it?
I try to, maybe I should have a safe word for when these things happen. Security could take them out. But I would do all these like bar and bat mitzvahs growing up, and Cub Scouts, and where you're performing for kids once they get up to teenage age, they have no boundaries. So they'll do the hand reaching in the pocket. And I remember a magician telling me, you know what you do when they do that? Just reach your hand in there too and squeeze it as hard as you can and say, get your hand out my pocket, kid. And, he's in jail.
All right.
That guy.
No, well, yeah, that's Gruntworks, certainly doing the bat mitzvah and all those parties and kids' parties. That's all part of the deal. I wanted to mention this because I'm a big fan of the Harley Quinn show. At the anime, and you did voice work for this on Max. By the way, I had no idea it was as adult as it is, because the language flies. Kaylee Cuoco is playing Harley Quinn. What was that like? Was that a lot of fun?
It was a lot of fun. We did that over COVID, so I kind of was in a booth all by myself, and I only got the script pages that I was involved in.
Right.
So when I finally did watch it, I had no clue. It was very, very adult. It is not for kids.
Yeah, it blew my mind, and it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. So I play a Vegas magician who, kind of a little bit cliche, but ends up, what is it? A shark gives, evil shark gives birth on stage, and that old bit.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, that was very, very fun. And in that Love show that you're mentioning, the Netflix show, I was actually the magician in the basement who had her pick a card and she forgot it and gets all
that's
pissed at her.
you?
That was me.
I feel like we had this discussion before.
We did, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
But
It's a great show.
It was so well written because it perfectly summed up what every magician deals with at the Magic Castle.
I love following you on Instagram. I think you're a great follow. Yeah, and so, but like, how much of your stage stuff is honed in on with the stuff you're doing on the street?
Good question. Because a lot of stuff doing magic in person, up on stage, is my favorite thing. But it's it's very presentational. The street stuff, it has to be kind of one-on-one. No one wants to watch a bunch of basically, when you're watching Magic for Humans, the person I'm doing magic for is the avatar for you. If they're amazed, if you believe their credibility, then you're amazed, right? Yeah. In person, though, it's so much. My favorite thing is watching people look around like, is everyone else freaking out about this like I am? It's the best. It's just a different thing. It's an all-ages show, so people, you got couples on date nights and whatnot, but then you've got families where they'll bring every kid, and it's just so fun now being a dad. Yeah, giving that kind of thing that that the whole family can come to, and the parents enjoy it on one level. The kids think it's for them. The grandparents, think it's for them. So it's much better in person. Magic wise, though, it's a much more stand-up comedy, audience participation, improv show.
Do you notice finding interesting too is that with the street performer and you basically have these. Everyone has their specialty, their thing that at least. So David Blaine, I think, first became prominent to everyone for that, walking along on the street, seemingly doing that stuff. Do magicians tend to stay in that lane, or is the goal to be because there's strictly card magicians? Mm-hmm. But I mean, would the goal be to do as many of those different sub-arts within magic that you could do, or is it? Do people just normally run a one-course way as a magician? In other words, this is what I do, and I will continue to do this.
I'd say, I was raised from the school of be able to do everything. Okay. Be able to do a gig on a boat, to do a wedding, do a funeral, do a kids' party, do a corporate event. I think, every city in this country has, a little crop of magicians who kind of just handle any gig that comes in, and you got to be able to just be well-rounded, well-versed.
Right.
I would say for me, nowadays, if there weren't cameras following me, I probably wouldn't just roam the sidewalks doing magic for people. So that's a little that's a little out of the ordinary. It's for the people watching it later, But I would go on stage whether there were 10 people or 1,000 people.
Okay.
I just love it.
So on your Instagram, you are a comedian.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Not a magician. And so,
I toggle sometimes. I'm like, what the heck am I? Sometimes I don't know, if it's magician first or comedian second. My favorite compliment is when people, are like, wow, I think of you as a comedian, not even a magician. And then part of me will be complimented, and then I'll get a little offended over there. The trick's not great.
But you're also a great host because you hosted, was it Cupcake Wars? Was that the one initially, which I loved? I watched that. And then Baking Impossible.
Baking Impossible.
Is that happening currently, or did
It's not. It was just a one-season wonder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But it was baking plus engineering. It was like Mythbusters with cake.
I caught a couple of those. Yeah, I love that sort of engineering aspect to it. And I mean, every time so those shows live and die, I think, a lot of times by the host, the one who can, and you're very good at it. But what about you producing? Do you produce, as far as, do you float out show ideas, or do they just bring them to you?
Everything I've done other than a hosting gig has been self-produced. So
okay.
So this new Magic for Humans was kind of a, something that I came up with and shopped around and got a lot of no's. Eventually, kind of got,
Right, you got a yes.
It's a
Yeah.
prank show. So I think the things that involve magic, comedy, and hosting are things that I self-generate. And then there's the, hey, we need a guy to do a thing, and I'll get in line for that too.
Well, I know a guy for that.
Yeah, I want to ask because your alma mater is actually my daughter's a senior in high school, and your alma mater is her number one. So you graduated from Emerson College in Boston, and you were a broadcast journalism major. So how much of what you do now was actually forged and learned at that school?
Listen, I was already doing magic at that point, and I think I knew that's what I wanted to do.
You made the decision.
Yeah, and my dad, of course, was very determined to get a real thing as well. He was very supportive, but he just, wanted me to have
journalism's dead end. Get into the magic.
Exactly. So I think, listen, I'm talking into a microphone right now.
Yeah.
So in college, I hosted any show that had an opening. I hosted a reggae show. I knew nothing about reggae.
But Boston it's a melting pot for comedy. There, I think
100%.
some of the greatest comedians of our time are from Boston.
From Boston, if not from Emerson College.
Yeah.
Because Eliza Schlesinger was 2 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Joe Mandy, Anthony Clark went to Emerson, Jay Leno. That's how, because I was obsessed with The Tonight Show. I love Jay Leno. I loved Johnny Carson before that, but then Jay Leno. So when I was reading his biography, I saw that he went to Emerson College, and I was like, I got to go look at that place. and there you go.
It's right on Boston Common. It's what they call a vertical campus. I mean, I think it's like the whole campus is like 2 blocks, but it goes up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And move-in day and move-out day looks pretty
insane.
Pretty hairy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you party as much as any college, and then it becomes a horizontal campus.
So so you're doing magic in college.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better thing to be able to do and a better time to be able to do it than in college.
I'm going to make these 5 fingers disappear.
Yeah.
Well, I learned that at the adult novelty store, of course, early on. I will say, when you're in college, you are trying to figure out who the heck you are,
Yeah.
So I think going into it knowing, I'm the magician guy, that was kind of part of my identity that I leaned into hard. I was going by Just Incredible then as a stage name.
Just Incredible.
So everyone in college just knew me as Just Incredible. And when you're in college, that kind of, kind of works. I would do my birthday party magic that I would do for kids' parties, but if I added innuendos, it became like college magic. So it was...
A couple of finger blasting jokes would get it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Did you have any booze tricks where it would get people to drink?
Other than the disappearing of them. Some booze tricks. The drunker people are, the more heckly, handsy they get.
You know what? I bet you're right.
And I assume
probably best to stay away from that.
As a magician, that's you don't want that. You want people alert and astute and
Exactly.
not, you can wow a drunk pretty easily.
Yes.
You can steal their nose and they'll be impressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like a good stand-up comedy show. 2 drink minimum, but also kind of maximum.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, right.
If you're just tuning in, it's Justin Willman who's going to be at the Keswick Theater tonight. You have these magic kind of starter kits for people who want to dabble. Are those still available?
They are. What? At justinwillman.com. It's a magic kit that I made over COVID to raise money for Alzheimer's relief. And
I think I'm going to get one.
You should get one.
It's been a while. And now that I know no one wants to watch my Me Do tricks, I can enjoy them more.
Did you bring?
I didn't, but so I have my son who's now, he's almost 5.
He's in that bag?
He's in this bag right now.
The whole time?
Stowaway. You got to trade him young. But this is no joke. The other day, he did a trick for me that he made up. It's not a great trick, but I was impressed at the ingenuity.
You going to show us?
I'll show you.
All right. And don't forget, we're streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch this right now.
Don't suck, Justin.
Yeah, Justin here.
Don't suck. Do you guys you use a Rubik's Cube ever?
Yeah, not any
Terrible
good at
at
it.
it.
My son can solve it in seconds, but I've never
old is
figured
he?
it out. He's 23 or 21, actually.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 sons. I'm trying to remember which one that was.
So this is this is a brand. I'm going to perform it as he did the other day. So there's a Rubik's Cube in the package.
Still in the package.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to solve them either. I would typically, when I was a kid, I would kind of just return it once and be like, I solved.
Yeah.
Or I'd see how far I could venture from from home and still make it back. But eventually, I'm just going to look away. Yeah, it's going to mix it up. Okay, so here's what my son did. His name's Jack. He was like, Daddy, magic. And he took the Rubik's Cube. He says, here's how you solve it. He put it in the bag.
Okay.
Snapped. Oh my God! Solved, dude. Okay.
Dude.
Now you need 2 cubes. Yes. But I was like, dude, that's good.
That's an illusion.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Do you who doesn't know how to solve one at all?
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, would you take this cube?
Yeah.
Nick's gonna mix up the cube.
Okay.
Okay.
Now here's what blew my mind. Do you know how many different Rubik's Cube combinations there are?
A lot.
Like this is just one of them, right?
Yeah.
You're making a new one. Do you want to Google it? Because it'll blow your mind. You won't believe me if I said it.
I'd have to say there's, over 1 million probably.
There are over.
Okay.
Go ahead. Well, hey Siri, how many Rubik's Cube combinations are there? Wait for it. She's going to tell you. Oh, no, she's still
we got
listening
it.
to me. You got it?
It's up on the screen here.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Jesus.
43 quintillion. 43 quintillion. That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is an abstract number, right? That feels huge.
Yeah.
Would you check how many grains of sand are on planet Earth?
You sure?
This is what's great. How many grains of sand? Just to give you a little context. So Nick is mixing this thing up. Nick is potentially creating a Rubik's Cube configuration that's never existed before ever.
This can't be right. 31?
31.
Connor searching.
There we go. 7.5 sextillion. That is less than a quintillion. So there are more Rubik's Cube combinations and grains of sand on Earth. Wow. I didn't look that up.
That's astonishing.
That means what Nick has just done. Nick.
Yes.
It's actually more likely that has never happened before in the history of humankind.
Right.
Wow.
Than that somebody has done it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's very impressive.
It is, but it's also it's impressive to be one of a kind.
What?
Dude, are you kidding me?
What?
I know. Okay. All right.
You know where this is heading?
Oh, I feel like I
Maybe.
do. I
All
feel
right.
like I do.
Let's find out.
Nick.
This is crazy.
No.
Nick. Because this is just one of them.
All right.
And this is just one of them.
Right.
Where's the camera at?
Yeah.
Right here.
Dude.
I'll face this. Okay, so check this out here.
No.
Let's just.
Dude,
Nick is matched
You
on
bastard.
one side,
Oh my God.
2 sides,
Oh my God.
3 sides,
What the
4
hell?
sides. That's 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides, 5 sides. Nick, you're my
matched it
soulmate.
Identically.
Nick,
I love it.
we're meant to be.
This is
wonderful.
You're soulmates.
I'm so glad you're here this
my
morning.
son didn't teach me that part. That was a daddy thing.
I don't.
That's phenomenal.
I don't get it.
And I don't want to get it. I think it's amazing.
Because I love when there's a moment during an act where I go, okay, that guy might actually be a wizard.
Yeah.
Like
we have had that
in real life.
We've had that a number of times,
Yeah.
and I go back to Blaine and Penn and Teller, and when you'd see them, and you as well, Justin, where you're like maybe this guy is otherworldly, and that's sort of a thrilling thing. You know, it's not, but it is.
We know so
Yeah.
much about everything. Look at that. Google a couple taps and you know how many grains of sand.
Right.
So I think it feels so good to just be like, I don't know I don't know where to begin.
On
right?
average, how long does it take to shop a
bit?
a bit, especially because you got to figure it. So a stand-up comedian, you're writing material. That's something that relies on a little bit of precision, but the actual execution of an illusion or a manipulation, you're adding that on as well. So for you to put together an act, how long are you working on it?
You know, some bits, like a Rubik's Cube trip, might be, 3-4 months, and then I can put it on stage, right? Some bits, like you're working on a new comedy bit, if it's a little rough around the edges, you got the good parts, but then it's not perfect, the audience is a little forgiving. But with a magic trick, you can't have part of it fool them, and then part of it be like, oh, I see that part.
Yeah.
It has to be perfect all the way through.
Yeah. So you know John Dornbos, right?
Yeah.
All right. So he has, and I don't remember exactly how the bit goes, but he said something along the lines of, if the trick doesn't work on stage, and I say that is the tell to anybody that it didn't go the way it was supposed to be.
That it hasn't worked. That's his cover. Yeah.
Safe word. What does he say?
I can't. I wish I could remember what it
Abracadabra.
Look over there.
Yeah.
Over there.
Did you watch Hard Knocks at all this season?
No.
Because one of the episodes starts with they bring a mentalist in, and he does a bunch of stuff for the New York Jets, and he did one in particular. It was a lot like that, where I'm like, I don't want to waste brain space trying to figure out how he did that.
Just be amazed.
Just be amazed.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that.
I'm thinking about that Rubik's Cube thing.
I know.
Me too.
I will be all day. And it was in my hand for I don't know how long, Justin, like 5 minutes or whatever. And I'm
just flipping around randomly.
And you even did like 2 more, 3 more.
Yes.
When he said you were done.
Right. And I kept going just a little bit. And sometimes it makes me want to get under the covers and cry. But mostly it makes.
That's why they don't keep covers for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, it just seems like a half hour ago I saw you writing a check to Nick, and I'm like,
Nick's probably feeling because you still didn't solve it.
Right.
You
Right.
just mixed it up.
That's all I did was, randomly mix it
I
up.
could show you how to solve it, Nick, if you want.
My son is quite good at it, like Preston's son is. And, there's that algorithm that you can learn. But I prefer the magic.
Yeah. Can you make your way over here?
All right, sure.
Is that all right?
All right.
now you guys have never met.
We've never met. But we have not. We're not in cahoots.
Yeah, no.
Right, Nick, we're not in cahoots.
That's
Okay.
true.
So I'll teach you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Okay. This is the Willman method. Because most people try to solve a Rubik's Cube, they're using their hands, they're turning it like this.
Yes.
Solve all 6 sides at once. That's too much. Okay. You're going to take it and you're going to try to solve just one side at a time. Okay. So instead of turning it in front, you're going to go like this. Just going to turn it like this.
Behind my back.
Yeah.
Oh,
See how I'm doing
no.
it just like this?
Yeah.
Just like
Okay.
that. You're probably wondering how am I going to solve it like that, right?
Right.
Because you're not going to try to solve it in your hand. You're going to try to solve it in your mind.
I have a sneaking suspicion, Justin, and I'm going to figure something out in the process here.
Okay.
All
About
right.
Yourself? Here, just practice. Just practice.
Okay.
Turn it nice and slow.
Nice
No,
and
you're
slow.
trying too hard.
Okay.
Trying too hard. Don't just like this. See how I'm going?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of not even
I
thinking
see.
about the cube. I'm just kind of disconnected. I'm disassociating. So practice that.
Okay, so Nick has got the cube behind his back, and he's twisting it around.
A little slow, but I'm not even really twisting
Yeah, now are you
the corners
now,
or anything.
Question.
Yes.
Question. What are you thinking about?
I was thinking about talking to Preston.
Can I see what you did? Can I here bring it up?
Yeah.
Okay, now he scrambled it up more. Okay, so don't think about talking to Preston. I want you to think of colors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll tell you what one of the 6 colors, and you'll just think of things that color.
Okay.
Okay. You ready for this?
Okay.
Steve, do you think you've never seen Nick solve a Rubik's Cube before?
Never at all.
Okay. And you may never still by the end of this day.
Okay.
Here,
Okay.
do me
All
a
right.
favor.
Yeah.
Just take
All
it. So, are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Start in your right.
Okay.
And just turn it like before.
Twist
nice and
it?
slow. Think of red things.
Okay.
Already better. What's red?
Apples.
Think of blue things. What's blue?
The sky.
Green things.
Tree leaves.
Yellow things.
The sun.
Orange things.
Oranges.
White things.
No.
Snow. Thank you, Steve.
And stop.
Okay.
Show him what you did. Show him what you did.
Hold on a minute.
I don't know if I want
Bring
to.
it around.
Pull it out.
Oh my God, it's solved.
Look at this guy.
That's just
It's completely solved.
He has solved it.
just
On behalf of every grain of sand on earth, Nick.
You finally did it.
I know.
Suck it, Ben.
It's a sense of accomplishment, really, Casey. All I need is Justin to travel around with me, and I can do it anytime.
Guys, we can't let Justin leave the studio. He's the devil.
it's crazy.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it.
I'm going to do my own magic trick.
All right, I just broke the roof.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's only my son's. It's a family heirloom.
Yeah, Daddy, never break this. That'll be our sign of our love.
Exactly.
I'm going to.
I'm proud of you, Nick.
I'm going to create happiness right now out of thin air. Caller number 20, you get tickets to see Justin Willman tonight at the Keswick Theater at 215-263-WMMR. And there may be some tickets available. I'm not sure. You can check out.
Recommend you getting on it.
AXS.com. But it's amazing to see in person. And those of you watching on YouTube saw what we saw. That's unbelievable.
I love it.
It's incredible. You continue to amaze and entertain, sir.
Thank you, guys.
It is great to
It's
see
been
you.
a pleasure. Good to be back. I appreciate it.
We hope you have a great time tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right.
See you
Give us
next
some
time.
love. Justin Willman on the Preston and Steve Show. It is Magic for Humans in-person tour tonight at the Keswick Theater. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.
Shows, and I got standing ovations, man.
Because the last thing, so I did stand up for a while. You would want to you'd want to be the MC, you'd want to be the opener, but you don't want to be anywhere near following one of those two. And yet you did. And Pryor himself kind of gave you a nice
Pryor
assessment.
came down to me, man. We were in a little hovel. You know, the green room got the chicks and the food, you know.
Right.
Ours looked like a closet, you know. And he looked me up and down, shook his head, and looked me in the face. He said, "Man, you was a funny," and walked away.
God.
I called my mom. I was like, she said, "I told you not to leave." You know, I told you not to leave, you know.
That's so
that was it.
cool.
But I have faith in mankind.
Yeah.
It happened here in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Not the smack.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. A woman died at my show here.
Whoa. Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And I have faith in mankind. I invited her.
Yeah.
So I went to a check cashing place on a Sunday to try to cash my check, and the place was closed. But there was still people in there. You know how they lock it, but there's
Right.
You know, just lock it behind you because we're closed and no one knows it. So the people saw me and were like, "Let him in." And I came in and I was in line, and the people were like, "You know who he is?" And she leaned over and she said, "Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks for coming." I was like, "No, thanks for letting me in."
Yeah.
And so she's doing her stuff, and she said, "What are you doing in town?" And I said, "I'm doing a show." She said, "Oh man, wow, you have a show tonight? You made my whole birthday coming here." I said, "Why don't you come tonight?" She comes with her two kids, like 20, 22, 23 years old. 15 minutes into the show, massive heart attack.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
No one knows this though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the team is working on them. We walk everybody out. You know, they say she's gone. I think people knew. But there wasn't a dryer in the house.
Yeah.
You know, nobody thought that was funny at all.
Right.
And, you know, we did another show. They left it on me. You know, you want to do another show? I said, yeah, we have to do it. Our job is happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Our job is happy. So we need to, you know, we're like a fireman. Theirs is fire.
Yeah.
Ours is happy. So we did another show. But as people were going out nice and orderly, I mean, even the dishwashers were over there, you know, in the corner like, man, this black woman, beautiful, looks me right in the eyes. She says, "Isn't this beautiful?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Of all the things that God could have used to walk her up to heaven, he used your show. It could have been cancer, car accident, shot, whatever." And I was like, that's now I know what Elton John's talking about. Philadelphia freedom, bro.
Yeah. That's wild to think about that.
Yeah.
And it also, I'm sure it gives you an extra appreciation because it's inherently you want to, as a comedian or someone does anything with the music, you want to connect.
Yeah. And comedy's all the ways around because I was still feeling like, oh man, how could that happen to me? You know, what's going on?
Now I've got this.
No, I saw Smokey Robinson on the plane.
Yeah.
You know, comedy follows me to love me. You know what I mean? And I go to him and I go, "Hey, man, Smokey, has this ever happened to you?" And I told him what happened. He said, "Nah, man, it's never happened to me, man." He said, "But invite all your enemies to your next show because you killing them, baby."
Shut up. That's great.
I have to bring this up too because you had last night the Golden Globes. There was a couple of Will Smith references. You had your own Will Smith encounter. Explain what went down.
Almost something like Chris.
Yeah.
But it never happened, you know, and I'm glad it didn't. And I was really happy about what happened.
Right.
For two reasons. One, I didn't have to feel guilty about what happened with me because he's such a great guy. Last thing I wanted to say was, "Hey, man, me and him almost got in a fight."
Right.
So that was a secret of mine. You know, and when that happened, I was happy that I was lifted off of that. You know, that it's not just me.
You didn't have the exact same experience. You had a tense thing, but that didn't manifest in a full thing.
Yeah, it'd have been a mutual smack or punch or something.
Right.
You know, yeah, it was going to that, and luckily Jada was there. You know, she was, "Hey guys," and I was like, "No, you tell him." You know, and
you were in I believe you were in a movie.
With her,
and you kissed her in the movie.
I didn't find out what it was about until 18, 19 years later.
Wow.
What? I didn't even know why he did
you find out from him?
Yeah, I did. Because in the book, I wrote it.
Yeah.
And then my author was like, "You can't put this in here because you got to get the rights done for them."
Right.
So this was bothering me. I didn't know if that was the reason. You know, I did want to put it in the book. You know, and so I sent it to him.
Yeah.
And him and Jada wrote me an email back and said, "It did really happen, man. Put it."
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was kind of fuming.
I mean, he's just, you know, kind of human.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the second reason why I was happy.
Okay.
Because whatever that is, that fueled that energy that he came at me or Chris with, he's got an opportunity to deal with it.
Right.
In one life.
And
how many of us have that opportunity to not only have success, but then to have some internal success about growing.
We were just talking about that, about how you process, how you deal with those things that set you off, or those things that you and you talk about it. It's a large part of your existence is bettering yourself. How do I become the best version of myself? And so you want to always hope that people have that, they can reclaim their better selves.
Yeah, and that, and that it was great to see.
Yeah.
I've been through my down the toilets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And through the love of people around me, and a good universe, pulled through it.
Yeah.
So it's we're in this place. We're in this place where we got reward systems and this, that, and the other thing, the things we reach for.
Did you have to learn that? It sounds like with your mother on your side early on, it sounds like you were getting a really good instruction on how to approach life. Or did you have weaker moments where you had become less than what you wanted to be?
Yeah, I went to Earth University with everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a degree.
Yeah, yeah.
So it, there was times that was a problem, with them being white and me being black and stuff that we went through, and it's just the road.
Yeah.
It's the road we're on.
Tommy, what was it like achieving the success of In Living Color? Because, that I'm always curious as to how fame and fortune affect individuals. And you've had an interesting life. And that In Living Color blew up. It was huge for a stretch. And so I'm curious as to how it affected you.
You know what? For one, the main thing is that I just got touched by a freaking angel.
Yeah.
To have that show in my life.
And did you know that at the time?
We knew.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to be touched by something because we were all the best at the time. So when we walked in the door and looked at each other, we said, we're doing a show together?
Yeah, think of that cast.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the X-Men meeting for the first time. What? It's like, what I mean? So it was that thing, and then, come the changes of success.
Right.
We were like family. We go to lunch every day, dinner every day, and we didn't know anything about fame. I didn't think we couldn't have. Because when it came, it was just like a freaking, did you see the Blob?
Yes, sure. Both of them.
Yeah, it's just no getting away from it. It comes from an event.
Yeah.
It's hard to, you can't shoot it. I mean, it's like, it's nothing. You can't shoot it. You can't burn it.
Cold.
And it's coming at you nice and slow.
Yeah.
I'm taking my time. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that thing, and so, that's a surviving thing. That's the thing to survive.
You met Keenan at a party, or he'd come to see you. Saw you happened to be on set of a show you were on.
He saw me plenty of times when I was coming up.
Okay,
at the clubs.
We had him in the studio on his birthday a few years ago.
Okay,
it was a surprise.
Awesome.
Oh, he's something else.
Awesome.
Man. He's something else. And it was just he knew he's the doctor. He's the Dr. Xavier.
Yeah.
Of the whole thing.
He's Professor X?
He knew who the mutants were.
Yeah.
He just took us to the danger room. We got it all together and said, okay, now go get them.
Yeah.
We got too dangerous.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We got too dangerous. He would come. He said, you guys can do whatever you want. And if you have something, we can always do another take. And blah, 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 blah. Boy, by the end of that season, it was like, he would come in the room and go, hey. Look, man, look at me, you guys. We're going to get canceled, man. You cannot. We're laughing.
That's what always happens, though.
We're laughing.
Yeah.
How long was the run?
5 years.
5 years. It's
seems like longer, right?
It was in my wheelhouse. It was one of those things that I never missed it every single week. And
Casey, it was the must quote. Did you see that?
Oh yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
and having this job,
radio was what made us.
Yeah.
Having this job has allowed me to meet a lot of the stars of that show. So having you here, on multiple occasions is a huge honor for me. We've had David Alan Grier sit in that seat. Like you said, Keenan, Sean, Marlon Wayans. We haven't had Jim Carrey in here yet.
Okay.
But
He's here.
What's that? Is he here?
Yeah.
Surprise!
He's on the roof crying. What are you crying about?
He's been a little emotional lately.
He's on the roof crying right now. No, that's we were friends before In Living Color.
Yeah.
Yeah, our daughters are the same age. You know, we were comic at the Comedy Store, so we do birthday parties and stuff like that. Now they're 35.
Yeah,
you know, we knew each other back then, and then once the show came along, so you know, we have a through line.
Yeah.
That came before it.
He and Damon Wayans are two that I would love to meet.
Yeah.
Love to meet those guys.
Yeah, you know, I just you know, we all just got really lucky.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you didn't.
like we can be.
Luck plus talent.
Yeah.
equals
Well, yeah,
the
you
end
gotta have
result.
both of 'em,
Yeah, you
yeah.
got to have both of them. But the thing is that I always try to give this advice. Never, you know, what you see is always realize that there are people that can do exactly that, and there's a whole tremendous amount of people out there with extraordinary talent that you'll never know about because the break didn't happen for
That's
them.
right.
You know?
Yeah, except now there's YouTube and you can see them there.
Yeah. But, you know, it seems like the way of this thing we live on.
Yeah.
This blue thing we live on. You know, we could go to the grocery store and see like heaps and heaps of ice cream. You see trucks.
Yeah.
Mack trucks full of cookies and this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, I go to Djibouti, Africa, or Mexico, or somewhere like that, or even Detroit, you know, and people are under a bridge with, you know, a cracker.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? You know, so it's where we live, you know, and you know, I think the whole forever thing, you know, got kind of pulled.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to be here that long.
Yeah.
You know, we need to just do it right, and leave it up to eternity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's a very healthy attitude.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, it's Tommy Davidson who's going to be at World Cafe Live tonight. Tickets are on sale. You can get them at worldcafelive.com. It's all right. Thank you very much, Marissa. Our next guest shows at Helium Comedy Club are sold out except for Sunday. So
Pretty
that's
awesome.
How about that? There's a 7:15 show. And you can go to heliumcomedy.com. We welcome back to our studio the entitled housewife, Becky Robinson.
Right.
Is
so
here.
good to be back, gang.
Nice to see you.
Hey, likewise.
Yeah, sold out shows. You got to love that.
You know, we've come up in the world.
It's the epitome of entitlement when you don't even have to.
Purely entitled.
Right?
Oh, and you should see some of the crop that's going to roll into these shows. They come in full visor, full skirt, fresh from the country club.
I sent a few videos over to Preston this morning because I became aware of the entitled housewife and I immediately said I know about 100 of these people and
they're out there
and they're out there and it was just hilarious. So has golf itself poured it over into civilian life for you? In other words, is it a joy for you, or is it more just a mechanism?
Oh yeah, it's fun. I mean, every now and then, you know, like it's a wonderful thing, but every now and then I'm like, I've created a monster.
Yeah.
Because I got an email the other day from this classic entitled, and she goes, "Hey, my name's Karen," of course, and she's like, "So I saw you're playing Naples in October. Here's the thing: we've got a family trip planned to the Turks." She asked me to reschedule my whole tour for her little family excursion.
No.
It's like, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to be able to do that. You know,
Right.
For those who may not have found out yet, so Becky has this character, and it's all involved in the game of golf. So you're out on the golf course and you're throwing your weight around and you're entitled and everything. And this is struck with a huge audience, and so now you have this awesome entitled housewife character.
What a perfect way to put it. I'm throwing my weight around. Are you talking about the video where I cracked the golf cart roof?
Yes.
From twerking on it?
No.
That's the epitome of throwing my weight around.
You're throwing your entitled weight around. You're making sure people know.
The badonk.
Badonk, if you will.
But there's so many subtleties, which I love. Just for example, I mean, we just cracked me up, and it may have been planned or not, but you're getting out of the sand trap and you're trying to climb up out of the sand trap, and it just looks funny. So the nuances to the entitled housewife. How long has this been in the works? When was this woman born in your world?
Well, Entitled was birthed mid-pandemic. I think, like a lot of people, hit a very, very low point.
Yeah.
You know, and, was putting my wigs on at home and was just like, I hate myself. I can't do this. And nothing was funny. And, it was such a dark time for the whole world. And then I kind of went over to my parents' house for a bit, and I grew up in a, tough cul-de-sac outside of Portland, Oregon. And my parents were just having the times of their lives during COVID. My dad was golfing 3 times a day.
Yeah.
He's wearing a golf glove on both hands because to him that was PPE. And he was coming home and he was going, golf is all we have. It is all we have right now, which during the pandemic was the case for a lot of people.
It makes sense.
Country club memberships shot.
Did they?
Way up in the pandemic. And in fact, wait lists started happening, and that's why to this day, there's like a 2-3 year waiting list at some clubs because of the pandemic.
Has it occurred to you that you are carrying on the legacy of Dorf on Golf?
Do you know Dorf on Golf?
Dorf on Golf.
Yeah,
you don't remember? There was a whole series that they used to sell.
She's too young.
Tim Conway would get on his knees
and
with
do a
shoes.
gag.
Right. Yeah, Dorf on Golf.
Oh, the classic.
Yeah, I'm an old bastard, so I remember. Yeah, right.
DW.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those commercials would make. I didn't need to watch the whole video. I could just watch the commercial and laugh my ass off.
The thing is, if you attach to anything golf, first off, the character's brilliant and hilarious.
I had no idea,
But you attach to golf. I don't even play golf. Preston does all the time. That's you can make a full productive career out of just staying in the golf community.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got celebrities and politicians flying me out to roast their, oh my gosh. So I got invited out to Gosser Ranch Golf Club, which is Coeur d'Alene, private club. You got to take a woody boat, $200,000 boat to get over there to the club. So they invite me out to roast everyone. Lori Loughlin is there.
Oh, wow.
Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
So, I'm there to roast people contractually.
Yeah.
She comes up to me, she goes, "Shut up, entitled housewife?" And I go, "Lori, how long you been out?"
Did she appreciate that?
Not at first.
Okay.
Her face dropped.
It's not like you set her up. She did it herself. So, right? I mean,
we had some laughs later that night. We bonded over a fireball.
I just saw that you're wearing a golf glove right now. You raised your hand up. I didn't even know that. Oh, my God. So, and with that, if you connect with the golf community, like Steve said, I'm a weekly player. And so if you connect with that golf community, not only that, I got to believe that you're endorsing. I saw you wearing a PXG shirt. Are they you endorsing them? Yeah.
Well,
they'll jump on it.
I mean, Bob Parsons was the first person in golf that, I remember junior golfers back in the day. My parents put me in junior golfers when I was an adult, so that was wrong. But I just remember getting sent home. My shorts were too short.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll never belong here. And, Bob Parsons was the first person that was like, I want whatever your 100% is, I want 150. The best was just kind of like, be yourself. And, he likes the jokes, and he's just such a great. Him and Renee Parsons they're just an amazing duo. So I've done a lot of stuff with the brand, and yeah.
It's funny because obviously from comedy, and we've had you on the show before, and your stuff is great. And but golf, this whole world. So you're already sort of involved with it, but it has increased exponentially. How has your game gotten over this time?
It's gotten better.
Yeah?
It's gotten better. You
Yeah.
At all these tournaments and member guests and stuff, because I'll play a lot, or we'll do scrambles. And, PXG, they've given me 2 sets of clubs now. So I've been gripping and ripping.
All right.
I've got nicer clubs than I play.
Yes.
But my dad is a really good golfer.
Okay.
And I enjoy golfing with him, but he kind of wouldn't be caught dead having an alcoholic beverage on the course. So my antics don't really align with that.
Oh, okay.
I like a vodka lemonade. I like to get the golf cart up on 2 wheels. I like to be a little loose,
Yeah.
And which is why it's so fun to golf. The ladies they have a good time, I find that men sometimes take themselves a little more seriously. And the jokes the guys make to each other are just classic. I don't know if but kind of like, hey, did you get the McLaren in the divorce?
He was just watching the footage of a brawl on a golf course, Preston.
Yeah, fist fight on a golf course. It does kind of break down to that every now and then.
I mean, the one guy didn't have sleeves on, if it gives you any indication.
The quality of the golf course.
Yeah.
Has the PGA embraced what you've done yet? Or they have?
Yeah, they have. I've gotten quite a few invites out to events. I got in trouble for climbing a Torrey Pine a couple years ago.
Really?
They invite me, and then they're like, I don't know if we're ready for this.
That's insanely wonderful. This is
been really fun.
Yeah, that you've come in on this.
When I made the character, I thought it was like anything else. I was like, I'm laughing at this, but truly, when the day the character was birthed, I laughed myself out of the darkest place I've ever been.
Well, the look alone. How did that just immediately roll out? That was it.
It was just.
Did the look create the character, or the character create the look?
It started with the voice. It usually always starts with because my mom kind of is like, Steve, it's just beyond. And I mean, we're taking the kids to CPK for dinner, and kind of that, like, if she does cuss, it really packs a punch,
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And so I put this wig on. I had started doing the voice a little bit around the house. I put the wig on. I put a visor on and my mom's skirt and a polo and the Oakleys. And just once I got the Yeti, she just came to life. And I improvised for like 5 hours and I was just having such a good time. And I really didn't think anyone else would find it funny.
And it's been the biggest thing for you.
Great.
What I love is, and Preston talks about this, and I see them, and I see them even more pronounced. The visor that sticks way out.
Yeah, so
it's a
there's
long bill.
The golf course that I live in a golf course community, and they have a high number of Korean ladies come out and play golf.
Yes,
and they're a regular source of income for this golf course. So they love that these ladies groups come out, but the visors they wear are gigantic.
Large. I mean, they come out looking like beekeepers.
Yeah, it's wild. Yours is tame by comparison, but that is a big ass visor you have on there.
It's big, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get these on my store at UntitledHousewife.com.
Yeah, you should do that. Yeah. So explain the background of the housewife and what her family situation is like.
So married to Scott, which Adam Ray is sitting right over here. He's the only person who has ever played Scott.
And he cites it as a career high. I believe he said, yeah.
We had a good time out there filming. And then Untitled has 2 kids, Dashiell and Maccabee. Oh. And they're just,
Dashiell and Maccabee.
You know, it's always a problem. You know, Dashiell, they didn't get him into equestrian camp on time.
Oh.
Maccabee got them kicked out of the Fiesta Americana Cancun for leaving little, baby Ruths in the pool. And, who knew it was the pina coladas? So it's one thing after the next with the kids, and she's kind of like, I need a cocktail stat, and I need some Adderall and Flexerol and all kinds of things. Just a plethora of pills.
You know what? It's a fully realized character, but it's also, and it's not. Watching the videos, it's not played. I don't think it's vitriolic. It is. I think everyone who is an entitled housewife probably gets a kick out of it a little bit. Do you get that? Have you gotten a bad reaction?
I found that thus far.
Yeah,
no one has been too upset. It seems it's more of a I don't like to do anything mean. I'm here to celebrate it, and it really is. It's an amalgamation of my parents. So,
right.
And even when I first showed my parents the very first video, my mom was like, you know what? It's a little close to home. And now they love it because the free golf stuff. But,
Does she have a name? The Entitled Housewife?
The Entitled right now is it's Becky.
It's Becky. Okay.
Her best friend is Trish. And
All right.
Trish is a nightmare.
What's Trish's issue? Yeah.
She's just recently divorced, and she just can't seem to do anything right. She doesn't fill her divots, which, that's number one red flag. So.
Yeah. And Becky hates slow play, right? You like
let's pick it up.
Yep.
Yeah. If you need an espresso martini to get it going, get it going. But let's, basic play needs to be moving.
There should be more espresso martinis on the course.
There really should.
Right? At the turn, there's always like a hot dog and beer, and I'm like, no, give me something better.
And there's never enough bathrooms.
Never.
I mean,
my
and you
goodness.
guys have it easy. You can just go in the woods. But we at Skorts have multiple layers. We have to drop multiple layers of trowel in order to get something done out there.
Yeah, that seems to be. Well, I was stunned at so I assume, and again, I'm a neophyte in this world, but the higher quality courses, and then we have some legendary courses in this area.
Yes.
Do they accommodate you going off to take a whiz in the woods? Is that?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've pissed at Pine Valley.
Ever taken a dump?
A couple times. I've never taken a dump.
Okay.
But I do keep tissue paper in my bag.
That's the reason I
Because you're
asked.
out there for hours, man. And if you've an emergency happens, I ain't
and they
using
do.
leaves.
Yeah.
Screw that.
What happens one day they're doing chili dogs. They're doing pulled pork sliders.
Yeah.
You just never know.
What I would recommend is having biodegradable wipes on you as well.
Oh, that's wise.
Okay.
That's what cracks me up about the golf course, though. It's like we're all buttoned up, but behind, you lift the curtain a little bit, and it's, drugs in the bathroom. Peeing in the woods. I mean, we have one that we call Sniffle. I can't say the next word probably on here, but Sniffle something Kevin. And we call him can I say a drug name on here?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Sniffle Dick.
Sniffle Dick?
Is that allowed?
Well, he's a jerk. So
Sniffle Dick Kevin, he's the cocaine cowboy. So he calls it allergies, but he's always got a little drip, a little nasal drip. There's a lot of that on the course, and I guess it comes with money, but it's just so funny to me,
It's so the number one course, or at least at present in this area, is Pine Valley.
It's number one course in the country. Yeah.
So have you ever played that?
I think I might have done a private there.
Yeah.
A performance.
I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
Not sure.
I don't know. They're all getting jumbled up.
Yeah, it's considered the greatest golf course in America, maybe in the world.
Just by
It's
happenstance.
right over the river in New Jersey.
And that's the one you're a member at?
No. I've been invited. I've
You're
played
the
there
club
twice.
pro over there, aren't you?
Yeah,
He has
course record.
You know, the course record. He got actually. Didn't you get in trouble one time for a little video on the?
Yeah, they like to keep things private there, and I took some video and was asked to take that down quickly, which I did out of respect.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. So,
There's a
but
lot
there
of
are
things, yeah.
some things are there's a lot of etiquette that you have to
Yeah.
follow at golf courses. You can get away with some things, but if you're a habitual offender, they'll let you know about it.
I noticed that Entitled Housewife is not steadfast, enforces some of the rules, but is cavalier with some of the other ones.
Yeah, she definitely likes to party and have a good time.
What is considered the most outlandish or most restrictive thing at a golf course that she does not tolerate?
I think slow play.
Just slow play.
If there's a foursome of anyone holding it up, she wants to keep it rolling. She wants to keep it moving. I think that's pretty much it. Filling your divots, making sure the course looks as such.
Yeah.
But then the humans can just, kind of become unhinged.
Right.
Like Torrey Pines, I was invited by the USGA to come play right before one of the US Open stops.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And
insane.
there's things you get away with, things you don't. I hit a ball out of a Torrey Pine. I climbed it. And then we were filming, luckily, but I fell completely out of it, like ricocheted down. My little pumas scraped down the brick. My fake nails popped off. And I got an email about a couple weeks later because the video went viral on TikTok and had like millions of views. Email from the USGA president comes in, subject line, "We've got a fairly serious problem."
Wow.
Fairly serious.
Yeah, my heart dropped right out of my butt.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes, "You got to take that off of everywhere. Those Torrey Pines have been imported.
Yeah.
They're nearly extinct."
Yeah.
And I just had no idea. I was like, "Come on, it's a tree."
I know,
You know?
but especially the superintendents on golf courses, they're very particular. And if you were invited out right before a big tournament, like that's when it's almost like Spinal Tap. Don't look at it. Don't don't even touch it. Don't come near it. Don't breathe on it. And here you are running around doing your thing.
They did say we might not be able to host it here if this is online.
Okay.
Wow.
It's like, all right.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure something worse has happened.
When you do go to film at a golf course, is it on a day when they're doing maintenance and nobody else is out on the golf course, or do they let you get out there in the wild amongst the other players and do your thing?
I've been pretty welcomed.
Okay.
Luckily, I've become friends with a lot of people who are, members at, Pebble Beach or wherever. So they invite me out and they're kind of, they're the crazy ones at their club. So they're like, "It's fine." And a lot of people will say, they just come up and they say, "Can I get a picture?" So
Have you ever encountered someone, because as I've seen in T2, Terminator 2, where the security guard's at the vending machine and he gets replicated by the T-1000 and he turns around and looks at himself. Have you ever encountered someone who's basically you?
everywhere I go. I mean, you come to the show tonight, people think it's me just sitting in the audience because there's 300 little me's.
Yeah.
No
running
kidding.
around.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They love dressing this part.
They come fully dressed. Yeah, they say the lines, and the most of the show is me as Becky. I close out. I do the second half of the show as the character. But they just kind of want to get in the spirit and riff the lines and have their drink, their ranch waters or their bottles of Savi B, and just I bring them on stage at the end of the night. It's been. I mean, how many people, I don't like to kick anyone out, but the things that happen at these shows, we've had to call 911 the past 3 shows.
Really?
Yeah. Because they just get
crazy.
Well, listen, we have a lot of comedians come in here, and it's one of my favorite parts of the week is, Thursdays and Fridays is usually, having people from Helium come in.
Yeah.
But very rarely does the comedian come in with completely sold out shows. And you have been sold out for a long time, and so I don't know when you added this Sunday show. That's
about 3 days ago.
3 days ago, okay. But yeah, so
there are worse problems to have, right?
Yeah.
The people that are coming to see your shows they're not surprised. They're not like, "Oh, who's this Becky Robinson?" They are, and they have been gearing up for this for a long, long time. So I get it. Like, it is an exciting night out.
It's really, it's special because I was here probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just begging on here, trying to do my best jokes into this microphone so I could sell a couple more tickets.
Yeah.
So coming back here years later and having 4 sold out shows and adding a show is really special.
It's terrific.
Hey, and as a fallback, there's always the Adam Ray show that's going on.
And we've got Adam Ray just down the block. He's over at the Punchline. If you want to see Scott, you can have a. Here he comes.
There will be way less debauchery at my show, but just as many visors, and probably more Jews. That's my whole thing at this point. More Jews, less booze.
More Jews, less booze.
Oh, that's a T-shirt right there.
We need our audiences to join forces.
Well, Manischewitz, right? It'll be
By the way, Becky, you picked a good weekend to do a Sunday show because there's no Eagles game this weekend for the Birds. So
There was one last night.
last night, and so they're not playing on Sunday, so they can come and see you.
How'd they do?
They won.
They won.
Yeah.
So everyone's in a good mood. The weather's going to be spectacularly wonderful.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, I just wanted, before I forget, you got obviously the control and you have sway over your videos. Have you been approached about any series based on this character?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't be that stupid to let this go.
No, it was the first time I ever pitched a show and they bought it in the room. But
Wow.
the landscape of, TV and streaming it's in such a weird place right now. I turned it down.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I went to business school or what, but the characters, she does well on her own. Taking a TV show would be a pay cut.
Yeah, well, would have been
which is
considered
something I
absurd.
never thought would, happen.
There's a whole bunch of people who never thought that because of the changing, all of the environment and all this potential way to make your own money, to take ownership of your own product.
Yeah.
So while all this, other stuff is going on, there's a lot of people just saying, I'm going to do it myself and succeeding. So I can see that. But it would have been insane to consider that years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'd been like, please.
Yeah.
We really want to make a movie. And
Yeah.
so a couple months ago, I had Chris Pratt DM'd me.
Whoa.
What?
Dude.
Yeah.
Legit.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
For a hobby?
Yeah. He goes, if you're making a movie and you're serious, I'm your Scott.
Wow.
I am your Scott. He goes, we'll get that little Jacob Tremblay to play Dashiell. I was like,
dude.
Well, you're going to have to audition like everyone else. But we'll keep you in mind, Chris.
He's actually, dude. People forget how effing funny he was on
I know.
Parks and Rec.
Brilliant.
And some of the best outtakes
Yeah.
are his.
And I do think it'd be funny if, Scott should be really hot, but she's still, mean to him.
Right.
Hasn't Scott been cast already, though? I mean, I think we're kind of like...
He might be in the room.
So
yeah, that's right. This guy is much better.
So did that come from Chris Pratt just being a fan of your videos?
Yeah, I didn't even know he's been following me since the character was birthed, and
Wow.
yeah, I had no idea.
Who else has come out? I mean, because you got some these are on fire. These videos. Who else has gotten in touch with you?
Crazy enough, a lot of the Real Housewives.
That tracks.
Yeah, a lot of kind of just a lot of the wealthy.
It is wild to see that world where you talk about someone saying, "Can you totally change your tour schedule to accommodate my vacation?" But the thing is so often it's not done maliciously. It's just, as you say, it's
just I'm used to getting what I want.
Yeah,
and this is totally normal.
Yeah.
You can pivot that into a private show.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, Untitled doesn't get out of bed for less than $50K. I mean, these skirts aren't going to pay for themselves, sweetie. That golf club membership is expensive.
Yeah. So, are you indeed playing golf here this weekend? Because I got a tee time on Sunday at one of the premier courses in Philly.
Do you? Yeah, I didn't bring my clubs.
You didn't bring your clubs?
Oh, you can borrow mine.
Just call
if you want.
PXG. Absolutely. Just ship one out. I would love to play this weekend because, we don't have anything to do all day.
And the weather's going to be sensational.
Yeah, I'm playing Sunday at Applebrook Country Club, which is gorgeous, and I think we're a threesome. So we
he never even
thought
to ask me.
9:30 tea time.
Let's get a little bronze on these shoulders.
Yeah. You let me know.
Okay, that sounds great.
Wow, man.
Sipping, gripping, and ripping.
I don't even know what half that means, but I know it's golf related, and I'm thrilled.
Yeah, you grip it and rip it. That means Steve swing with all your might.
Who said grip it and rip it recently? Was it was it a rapper? Was it Ice Cube?
Possibly.
Yeah, he said grip it and rip it.
Maybe, possibly. By the way, this is a picture of number 18 at Applebrook. That's the golf course. It's stunning.
Wow.
I mean,
Beautiful.
the sand trap is quite large.
I shot a 75 last time I was there.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, baby.
Let's get you down to 69.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Becky, did you know that Bill Murray also follows you on Instagram?
She just found this out.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Is it the real Bill Murray?
It's Bill Murray Golf, but that's his official Yeah, I was just looking to see like all of these famous people that
Well, I
follow
can't
you.
say I'm surprised. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, other comedians that are in the world of golf, Bill Murray being one of them. Let's see, I think
Got
Ray
Mark
Romano
Not
is
a comedian, but Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, yeah. But no, there are some comedians. Oh man, why am I drawing a blank? I have the guy's face in my head, and I can't think of it.
Nate Bargatze plays, doesn't he?
Oh, Nate does play. He does.
Yeah. We did a big Netflix as a joke when they came to do the festival. We all went out and played, and Bill Burr's pretty bad. He's got a funny little swing.
Oh, yeah?
It's a very constipated little swing, which doesn't surprise me. You know, he's tense.
He's
a
wound
tense
tight.
fella.
Yes.
He's wound tight.
We were saying that we were
But we
talking
had-
about this with Adam yesterday. Yeah, he's.
We had some
Yeah.
fun on the course out there with all the comics golfing and just, just raising hell out there.
Press, you're not thinking of Rich Voss, are you?
No, not thinking of Rich Voss. No,
Yeah, Ranazizi?
Well,
Ranazizi, yeah.
Does he? Oh yeah. Steve and I played together a couple times.
Well, Preston got to watch a nuclear level meltdown.
He was having a bad day.
Oh, really?
He was having a real bad day, and I was having a great day. I shot 74 that
Is that
day.
the worst scenario for a golfer? You're in the absolute hell of crappy play, and the people you're with
Oh,
are
yeah.
exemplary that
Oh
day.
yeah. People that are killing it, and you're having just, especially if you've never played with them before, and you're having a really bad round, and you can play the game well, but they just think you suck because of how you're playing that day. That's a bad position to be in.
Yeah, I had
That's
that
not a
happen
fun
recently at Riviera. I was mortified. Went in the clubhouse, had 8 glasses of wine after. I was like, "This isn't me. I swear. I'm normally much better." Even the caddy was embarrassed.
Are you going to join? Are you going to join a club now that you have all this notoriety?
I definitely want to hold out for Riviera.
Yeah.
I mean, you just with what you're bringing, I assume you're just going to get invites. Why
I
lock
assume the
yourself
same.
down? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of ping-ponging all over.
Yeah.
I really want to try to get my dad on all of his top courses.
Aw.
That's kind of because he's, he played in college. He's a scratch golfer. He always wins the club championship in
Wow.
Tualatin, Oregon. It's his whole life.
That's amazing.
He tried to get me to do their member guest for free. I was like, please.
How old is he, Becky?
He just turned 70. We
And
just
he's
celebrated
still-
his 70th last
That's
week.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have you
Good
gotten
for him.
to Pebble yet?
I haven't. That's first on the list.
Wow, Preston was able to play there a few years ago.
Were ya? Yeah. I
It's-
feel bad. I played it before him.
It's amazing.
Don't feel bad.
The girls, the girls want to have a girls' day. So my dad, Steve-O, doesn't really fit in with that. He would just be. I did an event at the Olympic Club, also
Yeah.
at the USGA, and I did a video to Cardi B WAP on my Instagram. And
awesome.
my dad called me, and I'm a grown woman, He called me and goes, Becky, you better delete that right now. I mean, my God, the Olympic Club, it's like the most prestigious,
Yeah.
I mean, they all are, but he was just fuming.
Was it
Well,
wet
does
ass
he like?
butter?
Wet ass butter.
Is that what
I was
it
like,
was?
it's a remix, Dad.
Does he like Paige Sporanic?
I don't know.
Because I mean, a lot of guys might make a concession for she's the golf babe.
The golf. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Right. No. So I mean, he can. There's some wiggle room there with inappropriate behavior.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cart girls. He's like, look at this one back. I'm like, okay, so she can have the skirt that short. Okay.
Hey, so you left your clubs. You didn't bring, but there is a PXG store in like 7 miles away from here.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could just call them and be like, "Yo, dude."
I will. Yeah. We'll get a custom entitled bag shipped over within minutes.
Do you know who I am?
George Lopez.
George Lopez.
I was trying to think of.
Georgie.
Comedian.
You should
in
think
golf.
lowrider, and then it all comes together.
Yeah. Wow. Well, listen, congratulations.
so
These
much.
sold out shows. And thank you. Even though your shows are sold out, you came here to see us today. And we do appreciate that. But there are some tickets remaining for Sunday show. There's a 7:15 p.m. and it's at heliumcomedy.com that you can get those tickets. But we're really thrilled for you.
Yeah.
That everybody's flocking
awesome.
to see you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me back last minute.
No, not a problem at all. We love it.
You guys want to come have Sunday fun day? We're going to start it. We're going to tee off at the course,
Yeah.
espresso martinis, and come showtime, we're going to have some fun, girls.
There's a golf simulator right around the corner from Helium. Well,
So there you
5
go.
iron.
That's where I'll go warm up.
I'll meet you there.
Love
They
it.
got jalapeno
Happy hour.
poppers
Oh, yes, they do. And espresso martinis.
in a bathroom.
Excellent. All right. Some love for Becky Robinson, guys.
Thank you guys so
Nice
much.
to see and Adam Ray. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Music is the name of the show. How
people are going home? I thought that was Dr. Phil on there, man. Dr. Phil got a black accent all of a sudden.
How are you finding that the music and comedy live are playing together? Is it a nice? You love the balance?
Yeah, it's a good balance, but there's two different art forms.
Yeah,
and they're
it's all about timing now.
Music, boy, I tell you, music is like a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you ain't gonna know what to do no matter what.
That's a great way to put it.
You ain't gonna know what to do no matter what.
It's an essential. We've talked on the show. Occasionally, you'll come across somebody who says, "I'm not into music." Because there's nothing available to you that you can find that you enjoy. Because it is literally it's what the station has been about for years, providing a soundtrack for people's lives.
I know.
You know.
I know. Hey, like I said, we're on this blue chip now.
Yeah.
And just that little bit of the song we played, I heard a little, and that's all that I've heard of it, unfortunately. But I'll listen to it more. I heard almost a little Al Jarreau. Type of thing in
that's
there.
this is a business, right?
Yeah.
And so, I had to think strategy. How am I going to enter into the music business? I wanted to do it in a genuine way.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be able to come in here and do something that I could do really, really well for a certain audience.
Right.
Because the way that things are now, divided into social media and all of this stuff, I'm somebody who can be eating a pickle on the porch couch in Buffalo can critique my album. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I want to subject myself. You know what I mean?
You got to impress the pickle guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Never get a picture of the person that made the comment. You know what I mean? I don't think Tommy Davidson's album is, and you look and he's over a paint bucket. You know what I mean? He's got a living room couch from the 70s on his porch.
Right.
With kittens. You know what I mean? It's February. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So
it sounds very specific.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Who knew he was a jazz fan?
Yeah, it's very specific. I got that from when what was it, Amazon?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Went to do my book.
Yeah.
And so they had comments. And this is when I discovered that comments and social media is like the bathroom stall. Anybody can say something, and everybody gets to read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not going to go in the bathroom stall and go, let me write this number down. Yeah. Let me quote that. You know what I mean? So all these comments were there, right? Mm-hmm. I love the book. This is great. Some of the stuff bothered me, but all in all, this, that, and then there was one comment that said, I really liked Tommy Davidson until I read the book.
Huh.
And I'm like, Amazon, why'd you have to put that? Like the owner can go to the moon.
Yeah.
The owner can go to the moon on his own money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why can't you leave out one bad thing that someone would say about it? That bad. I mean, there's no redeeming quality in none of that. That's just like I used to like him.
Yeah.
And now I don't like him because of the book. So it's like saying, I don't like him because of who he is.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I found out who he is in the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we talk about the joke, and it's the classic joke is you get 200 great reviews, and that one that stinks.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
But I know the real thing.
No, you know.
The real thing is, that person got loved.
Yeah.
And don't know what it's like. But at least they got loved.
Yeah.
Because they got loved in one way or the other. Because they had to say it. They had to say it. So they read it.
Yeah.
I got a text on one of the past, as long as we do have to wrap up, unfortunately. But this person says,
"Doggone it!"
It says, Tommy's story is amazing. Thank him for being a beautiful human being, especially for what he went through.
Yeah.
So there's some great comments.
I will say that I used to like Tommy before this interview. Now I love him.
Now you love him.
Now I love him.
Thank you. Looking out on my lonely roof, day after.
Badfinger?
Yeah.
It's a great song.
I'm gonna get your book.
What was it? Who was that?
Oh, yes. Roundabout.
Now, you gonna change your ways.
Now I remember
Yes,
the
meet
last
Sammy
time.
Davis.
Now I remember the last
That was
time.
Sammy Davis Jr. doing yes. I'm a honey.
I remember the last time we had you, and you immediately just launched into Philadelphia Freedom just like that. Before I even asked you one question.
Yeah, but I got a new Sammy verse. I got my eye, it's out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I love it.
Well, World Cafe live tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Now I got a new one.
Funny music with Tommy Davidson and Marcus Mitchell on sax. I wanted to mention him because you were talking about
good.
radio. So
Yeah, come out and have some fun.
Listen,
I'll be there.
It's wonderful to see you. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you,
today.
man. You guys are still here. Like radio still exists.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
There you go. It's for you.
You know what I mean?
This is Roundabout, by the way. It's got a long intro.
It does.
I would have gotten to it, but we got to take a break.
Yeah. Shows tonight.
Thank you.
We know
so
what you
much.
mean.
Yeah.
WorldCafeLive.com to get tickets to see Tommy Davidson. We're going to take a break, right? It's our buddy Tom Papa calling him.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
got cool.
So we'll come back.
We got cool.
We got
We got cool.
Casey. I've done something like that so many times that I can't bust your balls about it. We'll come back in a second with Tom Papa. We got cool. Stay there. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
This Saturday, the Keswick Theater is going to light up with the comedy stylings of our next guest. He's a friend of the show. We love having him on. He's one of my absolute favorite. Please give some love to Mr. Tom Papa. This morning. Yay. It's early. Hi, Tom. Nice to see you, sir. Tom's joining us via Zoom this morning. You look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Yeah, well, you know, you have a Cracker Jack staff over there. Casey sent me a reminder that we have the interview today at 4:30 a.m.
It's better than nothing.
He knows I was sitting there waiting for confirmation in the middle of the night here in L.A.
I imagine you sitting like in a big lounge chair with a little glass of scotch and just waiting, just anticipating the moment at which you get to talk to us.
Stroking my cat. When will they call?
Like Blofeld.
You know, I talked to Tom 5 minutes ago in the other room, and I told him that I failed at my job, and then you brought it on air.
Well, see, this wouldn't be an issue if you were East Coast.
Yeah.
You know, but
I know. It makes me very angry. I was like, every time I come on, I'm like, well, next time when I come through, I'm coming in the studio for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've got to be in Nashville the night before, so it always blows it.
Well, the draw obviously was you love to surf, and that's why you ended up out there.
Yeah, I'm big into surfing. I love yoga. I'm doing the 1970s version of California.
Yeah, exactly. The endless
everybody
summer.
everybody else has moved on. I'm walking around with my chest hair out, gold chains just tangled in my spooky cobweb body hair.
It's funny you mentioned that because there's a commercial with Mark Spitz on now. It's for some sort of colonoscopy in a box or something like that. But Mark Spitz was like that, exactly what you just the matted chest hair and the medallion.
There's a line in the song Macho Man from the classic Village People,
right?
Where he goes, "You see all this hair on my chest?" I'm like, wow, man, that was really that was it.
It's over now.
Thing. There was definitely
People were turned on by that, I guess.
So Tom, you're gonna be at the Keswick on Saturday, and I feel like you're almost exclusively when you come to this area, almost exclusively you play the Keswick Theater, and I'm not sure if that is your choice, management, or but I just I
it's
love
a great
that
theater.
It's a great theater.
So
It's
good.
a great little town and everything
I
like
like
that.
the
So
town.
do you inform your booking manager where you want to play?
Yeah, it's kind of like a back and forth conversation, but I do love that place, and they kind of cultivated me coming up, and the real reason I wanted to go back, especially this time, was the Keswick was the last show I did before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
That was, I remember I was in the lobby, I was signing books. You know, at the end of my shows, I sign books and meet the people. And I was out there and people were like, should we shake hands? Is this okay? And everybody was all kind of screwy. And then I got on the plane the next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the plane and I'm like, wow, this is getting weird. I wonder if I'm going to be doing stand-up next week. And Paula Poundstone, the great comedian Paula Poundstone, comes onto the plane and she sees me and she just leans in and goes, we're effed.
No, it's funny you say that because that's happening a lot. This Friday, I'm hosting a charity event for the Morris Animal Refuge here in
WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Rita's. Head to Rita's for a fall pick-me-up with frozen coffee and fun fall flavors like pumpkin, mocha, and cold brew. Only at Rita's for a limited time. Well, a person wearing camouflage pants in public left a British Columbia man outraged last week. So much so that the 27-year-old called police to complain and said he was offended on behalf of the military as he believed that civilians were not allowed to wear those kinds of pants.
I got something to tell him. People have been wearing camouflage for a long time.
An officer received the phone call on Friday afternoon about the garment. The man requested that the officer find the man and remove his pants.
He needs to be killed.
Police say the officer informed the man that removal of someone's pants would be illegal even if they were camouflage.
Right.
The caller told the officer that he would remove the man's pants himself under order of King of England. The officer replied that forcefully removing the man's pants would constitute an assault and dissuaded him from taking that action.
You've been accused of wearing camouflage pants in public, and you shall be put to death.
Police stormed a street after, this is in Canada as well.
He's going crazy in Canada.
I think. So anyway.
Wasn't there a moose stomping there?
No, but police stormed a street after a prankster hung fake body parts out of a neighbor's trash bin. Officers were called to the scene by a member of the public. They began their investigation into the report, searching various bins in the area, but a local resident then flagged them down to explain and told them that there was a prank that got out of hand.
It's kind of good, though.
Officers inspected the body parts, a hand and 2 feet, and confirmed them to be fake. Following the incident, the man said, I put them in our neighbor's bin sticking out. They're very good limbs. They do look lifelike. I've put them in a bag so that they can't be seen now. It's just a practical joke.
Do you remember the one that you reported on last year? The setup was like a bloody wood chipper accident on a guy's front lawn?
Yes.
Yeah, and the cops...
Yeah. A 32-year-old woman in Florida, this is horrible, okay, was arrested over the weekend for bringing her 11-year-old son into a hotel room where she drank, snorted cocaine, smoked marijuana, had group sex with 2 men, one of whom died overnight just feet away from where the child was sleeping.
On the plus side, they're spending time together.
Amy Marie Kemper was charged with 1 count of child neglect without great bodily harm. On Sunday morning, deputies and emergency medical personnel responded to a medical emergency at the Hammock Beach Golf Resort and Spa. Upon arriving at the scene, paramedics began life-saving procedures on a 60-year-old unresponsive adult male. After extensive life-saving measures were exhausted, the man was pronounced dead. Deputies spoke to Kemper, who said she had been staying in the hotel room with the deceased man and another 52-year-old man. The affidavit notes that Kemper also had her 11-year-old son with her on the scene. The cause of death was not immediately clear. Authorities said they found marijuana, Viagra pills, burnt blunts, and a silver tray with a white powdery substance that appeared to be cocaine inside the room. Numerous sex toys were located in the bathroom, and condom wrappers were located around the bed. Camper said she met up with 5 men at a bar the previous night where they stayed until about 2 a.m. before picking up her son from his grandmother's house and going back to the hotel room. They all drank, smoked, and did cocaine until 3 of the men left so that she and the 2 remaining men could have group sex in the room. Kemper said that before engaging the threesome, they attempted to put the couch that her son was sleeping on into a closet and covered up the door with a sheet so he wouldn't see or hear the sexual activities occurring.
Well, they're trying to be responsible.
Sometime after the sexual activities, Kemper said she heard what sounded like the 60-year-old man having a, quote, medical episode, but shortly after that, the noises stopped and they decided he was just sleeping. Kemper and the 52-year-old man left the room at about 5 a.m. They were gone for several hours, leaving her son behind. And when they returned at about 9:25 a.m., they found the 60-year-old man unresponsive and cold in bed, which is when they called 911.
I remember getting upset at my mother for not picking me up at school.
Police responded to the scene and took custody of the 11-year-old child.
Mom, I want to take that back.
And Kemper was arrested.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's messed up. I'm sure you guys probably saw this, but a luxury cruise ship with 206 people on board became stuck in a remote part of Greenland for 3 days.
Whoa.
Fortunately, a research vessel was able to pull the Ocean Explorer free during high tide on Thursday morning.
They say that they started to resort to cannibalism halfway through the first day.
The ship found itself run aground in Northeast Greenland National Park and wasn't expected to arrive until Friday. Fortunately, no one appears to have been injured, and the ship itself does not seem to be damaged. A thorough inspection of the Ocean Explorer will take place when it ends up docking.
I'd love to go to Greenland. You know anybody?
No, well, I know somebody who's been, and I do as well, Steve. It's apparently like the less developed version of Iceland, but a lot of tourists go to Iceland, and so Greenland has everything that Iceland has to offer up. But
And
it's
less.
just not as many people there.
Jim McGuinn went, I believe, and he said not only is it inexpensive to get there, but really quick.
It's quick, right?
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful.
It does.
Yeah. A wandering bull moose was captured in downtown Santa Fe and relocated to a suitable habitat in northern New Mexico.
Why don't you forget the moose?
Yeah, they bought me this
For a moment.
condominium, and I'm loving it, and I love New Mexico, and I made all sorts of new friends.
I don't think of moose when I think of Santa Fe, New Mexico, but apparently
that's exactly where I think of.
this one made it there.
The robust New Mexico moose population.
Officials for the city said the moose was spotted at about 8 a.m. Near Fort Marcy Park. Officers set up a perimeter to protect residents and pedestrians in the park, which is a popular walking area.
It's like the Vermont manatee, Preston.
Authorities said a bull moose can be aggressive toward humans and pets, especially during the breeding season, which begins in late September, so it's coming up.
Oh, man, when they get horny, that must be a nightmare.
The moose was sedated with a tranquilizer dart and loaded onto a trailer before being evaluated by Game and Fish Department veterinarian and determined to be in good health.
Pizza party.
Department biologists estimate that the moose weighed more than 900 pounds and it was 4 to 5 years old. The Game and Fish officials said moose are a protected game animal in New Mexico, and there is not an open hunting season for them.
900 pounds.
Yep. And that is where we will end with the bizarre file this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll ask a lesson question. We'll get to the trash. We'll get to the music news as well shortly. Don't forget, Word of the Week prize, giving that away too. So hang out. We'll be back in a moment.
The last event that night, you know, a big gala. I remember everyone had that same sort of, what's going on here? What's going on? Things are going on. I lost an iPad that night, so I remember, you know, the whole thing. And this Friday, it's like the sense is we're picking up where we left off because it's the first event back of that nature, which is kind of, it feels right.
Yeah. It does, and it feels like a milestone for sure. I'm a little concerned. I thought you said I lost my eye patch.
It turned out I realized I have a functional second eye, and why have I been wearing this?
People say the pandemic's bad, but I was able to use both eyes for the first time.
It's a joy.
Oh man!
But the theater thing.
Yeah, but I'm really psyched for sure, and it's there's only some tickets left. There's not. I came on because I really want to sell the place out. I just want it to be like this triumphant kind of like return.
Well, you're a dear friend of the show, so we please help Tom realize his goal. And if honestly, you're so good at what you do, and I think over this period, which no one would want to say, hey, I hope we have a pandemic, but I think what you do, how you've done it. The way you've approached thematically your shows, I think it's meant a lot to people. So I'm sure you've got, people will need to seize upon this opportunity to see you live after all this time.
Thank you. It is funny that now that I've been out for a bit, and you do see all the people. When like I said, I sign books at the end of every show, and I get to see all these people that have been they travel. I used to just kind of skip out the back.
Right.
Now you're actually sitting and signing books, and people come up and you forget, oh, we traveled and we stayed in a hotel and we came from 6 hours, or we flew in from Toronto. And the thing I keep hearing is that my Netflix special, You're Doing Great.
Yeah.
Was like therapy for people during the pandemic, because it was kind of upbeat, it was very optimistic, you're doing great, we're gonna get through this. And even the book was You're Doing Great, and even reasons to stay alive, and other reasons to stay alive. And I was just writing it, but I didn't realize it was became like a self-help book, and a self-help special.
It's brilliant, and there's sometimes it's weird when you experience a blowback from a desire to feel good and see the glasses half full. It's how we survive as a species. And Preston was just talking about, we had a segment about long despair and all of the people who are just in the throes of dealing with all this stuff. That's the service you provide. It is a release. A comedy has always helped me throughout my life, whether I was watching Bugs Bunny cartoons or whatever, going through a bad time. It does heal, and so it's got to be very good for you to see those people smiling and reacting to you that way.
100%. And it's I named the tour the tour that I'm on, the Family Reunion Tour, and I really feel like it's the family that I want to be with when I'm on the road and see all of the people. I literally started saying the other night on stage, I was like, remember back in the pandemic when they said we couldn't hang out with our families? They said we actually couldn't see our families for a year. Wow, those were the good old days.
I think we may have discussed this before, but if not, your stand-up is huge on TikTok right now. And so I'm wondering if that has ended up, as far as your audience is concerned, is your audience trending younger these days as a result?
It's interesting. There are younger people showing up, which is very cool. It's because their parents already know me, and now the young people know me. And also when I was doing the NPR show, when I was doing Live From Here, which was the Perry Home thing, that was another thing that the whole family could listen to. So the coolest thing is when people come up and it's the mom and the dad and two 15-year-olds, and it's it's very cool. Casey, actually, you tipped me off on the TikTok trend that was happening for a while.
Yeah, you're talking about growing people, and
you'd see it constantly on the stream. You still do, yeah.
I had this line. I made my own people. Have you ever made your own people? I've made my own people, and I'm their leader. And all of these moms started taking it and lip syncing it, and showing their kids doing picking their nose or scratching their ass, and they're have you made your own people? I have. And it became this trend. I was the joy of being able to tell my 16-year-old daughter that I was a trend on TikTok.
Top that.
Yeah.
Tom,
she was so angry.
And we're all kind of students of comedy and fans of comedy, and I love, just like everybody else in the room, the Netflix special was therapeutic and funny. But when you watch something at home, you usually kind of chuckle to yourself a little bit, maybe laugh if you're watching with somebody, but there's not the double over laughter that you get at a live experience. And so I love going to clubs. I love going to the Keswick and seeing comedy shows there. I've seen, I saw Saget there. I saw Mike Birbiglia. So I'm curious as to when you perform live, getting that type of reaction versus getting the, hey, that made me laugh type of thing, actually seeing people laugh. You know the difference that I'm trying to explain?
Yeah, no, it's a huge thing. I was talking about this the other day, that I feel like we need to have a return of comedies, film.
Yeah.
When we were kids, they were throwing so much comedy at us, A comedies, B list, C list. They were just showing Ernest Goes to Camp and Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, they just kept throwing comedies at us, and a lot of them were terrible. But we all went to the movie theater and sat there and watched. And when there's this weird thing with human beings and this energy that connects us. And when you're in a theater and you hear someone else laugh, and then you laugh, and then it connects to the other person, and it's contagious.
It's communal. Yeah, it's great.
It really catches. When I do shows, I do like these corporate shows sometimes, where a company like Microsoft will hire me to go do their thing. And the thing that they always screw up, which I literally have in my contract, is no dance floor. Like, you have to have people starting at the stage. They used to put like a big dance floor, and just that gap, between me and the audience. Like, if you take 10 feet, you've killed it. You've killed the electricity chain.
Right.
So but if you have the people up to the stage, that laugh, my energy will connect to those people, which will spread through the theater.
Yeah. Hey, do you pick up on distinct laughers in the crowd? Because some people really stand out with their laugh. And if so, do you kind of target them if you can?
Yeah, well, I don't target them, but it's definitely conscious. And the thing that I have to do is remind myself that just accept it as a real laugh.
Okay.
Because when I was starting and I would hear someone like, the insecurity was they're fake laughing.
Right,
they're mocking, they're mocking me. And then I would attack them, and everyone in the audience is like, what are you doing that for? He likes the show the best. And I'm like, he's not real.
There are some people that have that ha 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 like cartoon, like it's written out
As
ha
if-
ha ha.
like the
laughter.
Frankenstein monster has learned to laugh.
Exactly. But that's how they laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to like say something just to get it off my chest. Like, something like, I don't know. Thanks for bringing you thanks for bringing your pet seal or whatever.
I wonder what percentage of your audience now too, because you've got. You've built obviously the podcast and your various shows and all the things you're involved with. Have you ever done sort of a casual breakdown of who's there and what they're there? What was their entree to getting into Tom Papa?
I know. I'm always so curious about it, but it's weird to just like stop in the middle of a comedy show and be like, okay, we're going to take a little survey now. Who here drove more than 2 hours? More than 2 hours? Where did you? Because it really is it is a mystery, and I kind of like that it is a mystery.
Right.
But there's times when I'll go play like a performing arts center, and I know these people are like parents, they've got families and stuff, and I know they're not on TikTok. I know they're not even on Twitter.
Right.
And I'm like, and I've been tweeting about my show all week. I'm like, how did you find out that I was here if you're not on Twitter?
Right.
You know what I mean? You guys don't use Instagram? Where did you come from? I don't know. I think it's just a combination of everything, I guess, over the years.
Well, it's almost like we've been digital, but we re-embrace some analog technology. We remember that, yes, the word used to get out, regardless of social media.
Yes.
And so that is something that is every bit as important. I mean, we here with terrestrial radio, which is still, the big mofo, it's still it still has something that connects in a very, soundtrack of your life kind of way. And your podcast and your shows, they all have a regular radio.
Mars, Everything Rocks, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock on the Preston and Steve Show on a Friday morning. Word of the Week prize will be given away in just a little bit. Just a heads up, we got a beautiful day in store for today. Nothing but sunshine. High about 76, a little bit breezy. And then tomorrow for the MM barbecue, it's right in the zone. It's partly cloudy. 79 degrees are high. Wonderful. Sunday, we might have some afternoon showers to keep an eye on. And then Monday, some rain expected as well. So it comes at the right time. We hit it right out of the park on this one. All right, Nick, I need lesson questions.
Yeah, you do.
And we need just one for now because we are going to give away a $50 Rita's gift card. So what question is being asked today?
What kind of sluts are Steve and I?
Okay. 215-263-WMMR. Nick and Steve are sluts.
What kind?
What kind of sluts are they? And if you heard that earlier this morning, you know the answer. You should call, and we'll set you up with that prize. And we'll do the trash while you're calling in.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR. with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by New Jersey Transit, reminding you that we all need to work together to keep our transit system safe. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT, or you can text your report to NJTPD. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Well, Aaron Rodgers breaking his silence after suffering an Achilles tear during his debut with the Jets, defiantly saying he will, quote, overcome and rise above. Rodgers also admits that now he can't sneeze without crapping himself.
Hey!
Drew Barrymore, alleged stalker. You remember this guy? Chad Michael Busto has reportedly turned his attentions towards Emma Watson. Busto was apparently discovered attempting to get into a closed event Watson was attending by waving a magic wand and reciting Erectius Boneris Splugium.
Oh, my
And finally, now listen to this one carefully. I want to see if you see what I'm doing here. A poorly constructed Insta-mansion for some reality show loser. What will go in place of Alex Trebek's recently demolished Studio City home? That's your Hollywood Trash.
All right. Thank you, Steve. We will see if you know the answer to this. What kind of sluts are Steve and Nick? 215-263-WMMR. We'll go to Sean. Hi, Sean.
Hi there. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning to see you, Sean. All right. So what kind of sluts are Nick and Steve?
They are big food slutty whores.
Food slutty whores. Well said, Sean. Hang on. We got you a $50 Rita's gift card. You can head to Rita's for a fall pick-me-up with frozen coffee with fun fall flavors like pumpkin, mocha, and cold brew. Only at Rita's, and that is for a limited time.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you this morning by Horizon Services. You can tune up both your cooling and heating systems in one easy visit with Horizon Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Pay $89 for an expert AC tune-up, and their techs are going to tune up your heater for free. Visit horizonservices.com. Rolling Stones released a full track list of their new album, Hackney Diamonds, and it will feature late drummer Charlie Watts on 2 of the songs. Former bassist Bill Wyman plays on one of the songs. Plus, you'll hear the vocals of Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney playing bass, as well as Elton John and Stevie Wonder on piano. The 12-track album was recorded in various locations around the world and be released on October 20th.
You know, listen, so I respect and I'm a fan of the Rolling Stones, but I have to say I'm actually very excited for this album. You know, and I have not really been so in a while.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for...
No. It's just observing the Rolling Stones thing, and I think you're kind of in the same boat. I respect them, and I think they're great musicians, and I get it, but I've never been really... I haven't been energized in a long time, and this single that they released and the whole approach, I love it, so I am excited for that.
It sounds fresh, yeah. Out today is CMF2, the second solo album from Slipknot Stone Sour frontman Corey Taylor, the follow-up to 2020 CMFT. The 13-song set was produced by Jay Rustin, who worked on Taylor's previous album, as well as Stone Sour's 2017 set Hydrograd.
All began with See You Next Tuesday.
And albums by Anthrax, Steel Panther, and Amon Amarth, among others. Taylor himself plays guitar, piano, and mandolin on the album, which explores a range of heavy rock to acoustic Americana. So that comes out today. This is quite interesting. More details have emerged about the collaboration between Rob Halford of Judas Priest and metal queen Doro Pesch. In an interview, she said that they recorded Total Eclipse of the Heart for her new album. And they actually recorded 2 songs, and this is the one that was Halford's idea. The Jim Steinman written song was a global hit for Bonnie Tyler, and I think it recently just reached 1 billion views.
It did.
Wow. They ran into each other last year in France at Hellfest, and he suggested that they record together. About that, she said, it came out so great. When you hear it, you can tell that Rob loves the song, and I'm so happy. 2 duets, man.
Hi, I want to welcome everyone to Hellfest, and I hope you have a wonderful time. And Hellfest is going to kick some ass.
It'll be released as a single on the same day the album comes out on October 27th, by the way. Let me see. We had a couple of audio clips. Steve, I know that you sent this over the other day. Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees has done a cover of an REM song.
He's a big REM fan.
That's awesome. And this is a little bit of that. I haven't heard this yet, so let's hear what this is all about. And this is Derek Smalls of Spinal Tap, bass player.
Yeah.
Has apparently written a song called Must Crush Barbie. I've not heard this.
It's very chanty.
Okay, let's check this out. He was Derek Smalls for the entire interview, and it was great.
Yeah.
I loved talking to him. So the fact that he's got a solo song out now, it's impressive.
They're still going.
Yeah. And then we have a clip of the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Mike and Adam react to a street being named after them. Here's that.
It's weird. I mean, who would ever think of that? You know? Never think, especially, coming from just growing up in the city and thinking that they would name a street after you and what you've done for all of the reasons when really the whole thing that you've been doing is just playing with your friends for years.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
So this thing about putting down the below the actual street sign, sort of an honorary sub-street sign, is all the rage now. They're doing it with Bob Barker.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, on I think Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, this Beastie Boys event was really cool. It's the corner where they shot the Paul's Boutique cover.
Yeah.
Is the corner that it's at. And I mean, there was thousands of people there, and it was just really cool.
Nice. Makes total
There's
sense.
a big mural across the street, too.
All right, and that is the last item in music news. That means we have a final break to take. When we return, we'll get the letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize, and we will give that prize away. So stay with us.
You don't want to get.
It's that sense of community,
right?
It's that thing of like we belong to something. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to know that we belong to something, and I think that's what's lost in some markets when they don't have really strong local radio. It's such a shame because you look forward to like, oh, the band is coming to our town.
Yeah.
Oh, we're celebrating this thing this week. We're getting together and looking for his eye patch.
Why was I even wearing that? But you're right. And then when a band would come to town and they were playing your city and they would mention the last town, I was like, oh, them. Like an old girlfriend,
Right.
'Cause
You boo.
only him, boo. Do you remember a time when? I mean, I know we've mentioned the George Carlin picture behind you, and I know he's very important, to you. Do you remember a time as an audience member where you had that gasping, doubled over moment where you were responding to a comedian on stage?
You mean in the past? Like
Yeah, for your entire life.
Yeah,
I'll give you a good broad time frame.
Comedy's such a funny thing that like you could just be watching a bunch of people, especially like on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch different people at different times, and you're just like you said, like, oh, that's funny, you just kind of chuckle. And I watched John Panette a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And remember John Panette?
Oh, yeah.
Man, he just hooked me. And I'm alone in my room, just literally, he got me. And every line was making me laugh harder, and I was trying not to laugh. so I could hear the next line. And I was like, oh man, this is such a beautiful thing. This guy just up there yelling about corn dogs. But I always tend to, I like stuff like Carlin, and I love like stuff that has a little meaning to it, but I also love, that was the thing I liked about Carlin, was that he also combined it with being very silly.
Yeah.
Like in Carnegie Hall, like he would be talking about something heavy and political, and all of a sudden he's pretending he's a crab walking across the stage.
That's great.
I'm always attracted to silly because I have a very low IQ.
Well, Robert Klein was I remember seeing Robert Klein when I was in college, and that was it, what you just described. There was, he didn't dismiss that part of the audience that would respond well to that, as because I'm sure you design your act in a way to hit different group. You want to hit the largest group, but you also want to have people go, that was for me.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really plan it. You just gotta kind of do what you think is funny.
Right.
You just gotta do, like, if it makes you laugh, and then all of a sudden it hits with a couple people, and you can't really plan out, like, I want to try and get this group, because like you said, I don't even know who's out there.
Right.
I don't know who's in the audience. It could just be
Shriners.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah, or all stoners. I have no idea.
Do you still pop into the clubs in L.A. when you're working on material and stuff? And how often?
Yeah. I'm going to the Comedy Store tonight. That's where I've been going mostly, is Comedy Store in Largo.
I'm so jealous of New Yorkers and L.A. people, because you just go to a club on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and it's like, it's Tom Papa.
A marquee name.
10 marquee names in one night. That's just, to me, it's mind-blowing.
It is pretty. I know they always, the Comedy Store always takes a picture of the lineup and posts it, and all the comments are like kids from Kansas, like, God, what's wrong with me? Why do I live here?
Well, we do have our moments.
Be in LA.
You can go into a restaurant here on any given night and see Jervis from the first season of Survivor.
Yeah.
Ooh, no way. See, you really, it's bad enough I can't be in the studio with you. Now you got to throw that at me.
So I'm looking at some of the guests that you've had on your podcast, and I wanted to ask about, because growing up, I watched short attention span theater, the half-hour comedy hour. I loved all of that stuff. And so you would see just snippets of all these comedians, and Judy Gold was one of them. Yeah. And is she known as the Holla Queen?
The Holla Queen?
Or is that just because it's on the Breaking Bread podcast?
Yeah. Holla. Yeah. Oh man. For a minute I thought you were making some Holocaust joke.
No. Oh God. No.
Listen, people. Casey's Holocaust material is amazing.
Oh my God.
And you think, this is just going to go south, but the way he finesses it.
When he sent me that text at 4:30 this morning, he was like, "Wait till you see the Holocaust joke I've got for you today." No, yes, challah, the bread challah.
Yeah.
Yes, Judy Gold is amazing making challah bread. I had no idea. I love Judy to death. She's one of my favorites. She's such a force. I put her in my live shows in New York, and I came on. She came on to the Breaking Bread podcast, and her background that she put for Zoom was one giant piece of challah that she had made.
So talking about that time in my life when I watched a lot of short attention span theaters, she had a punchline that, like, I mean, what was this, like 1989? How many years later, 32 years later, I still remember the punchline. It was silly. She was talking about getting changed in a dressing room, and the lady opens up the curtain, and she says, like, I don't need your help. Like, I'm naked with a belt on. And I don't know why that punchline sticks out to me so much. And I think it's because it didn't dawn on me that, like, I think she might have been trying to steal a belt. Otherwise, why would you be naked with a belt on? And I don't know, but I loved that time in my life when I was just discovering these comedians.
The Judy Gold age.
It was Judy. But listen, I mean, it was It was Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
He had a big thing about wiener dogs back then. Like I remember that because
it sounds like you were going through puberty.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like between Judy Gold naked in a dressing room and Norm Macdonald going
wiener
with his wiener. It sounds to me, Casey, like you were becoming a man.
I was.
You were becoming a man.
Still working on it, Tom.
And now he gets in touch with you at 4:30 in the morning. It's all good. So is this an extended tour that you're going to be doing, or?
Yeah, I'm on tour pretty heavily through September, and then in September I shoot my next Netflix specials.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all building up to that.
Tom, I wanted to touch on the bread for a moment because we wouldn't be talking to you.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit of sourdough bread. Have you ever addressed the sourdough bowl concept and how you feel on that? It seems like a kind of a big waste. I like sourdough bowls, but it would seem like kind of a waste of all that bread.
Yeah, I only like it if when I'm in, because a lot of places those are in theme parks and stuff. And I only like the sourdough bowls if I see the person eating the bowl when they're done with the chowder.
There you go.
I think
if I look over and saw you gnawing at it, I would be happy. If someone just uses it as a bowl, I'm very offended.
Why not a cup? Why not make can you make a sourdough cup? They just a little bit
tiny,
small.
like a shot glass?
No, not a shot glass.
You just walk around with it. Just walk around town and munching on your cup.
They could make the hat where you put two of them up there. And
two sourdoughs with tomato
Princess
soup
Leia
coming out.
ears.
Do sourdough loaves need to be a certain size, or could they make a little one like Casey says, a
Muffin
cup size?
Casey's not wrong. Casey's not wrong. You could make them any size you want.
All right.
You can make them any size. You can make them medium size and pretend they're Judy Gold's boobs.
By the way, I want you to know I'm keeping your sourdough starter alive. It is in my refrigerator. I tend to it. It is. I have to be honest. I am terrified to make a bread because Preston had a story the other day about.
Everything rocks. I love when a band puts a live, concert ending on a song that they've recorded like that one.
Yeah.
Struts and Too Good at Raising Hell. Great tune. 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. Friday morning. Beautiful day weather-wise. And we are wrapping up our work week. But we're working tomorrow. And we're having fun at the same time. It's great when work and fun can happen at the same time.
Do you know, statistically, the amount of times where the barbecue has taken place where we were like, okay, well, it's going to rain and this is going to be this, it's going to be that. And it's, okay, but we'll do this. And we were, sort of pep talk ourselves into the barbecue. And it always works out great. To know that what you see out your window right now is going to be what's happening tomorrow makes it that much more exciting.
Yeah. And I suggest a light jacket.
Yes.
Bring it with you because it will get cool in the evening for sure.
Casey,
go ahead.
Oh, Casey, were you prepared for the game last night?
Yeah, I actually brought a pair of sweatpants and a long sleeve T-shirt, but I don't actually use them.
I was cold.
Yeah.
Which immediately I thought, bring a jacket for
But
the
I love
barbecue.
that. So what are we looking at temperature-wise? Tomorrow's
high is 79, 80 degrees. So by the time the sun sets, it's going to be cooling off.
It's going to be a little breezy.
Yeah, and the whole thing will end. I want to say, 10 o'clock, something like that, around that range. So
no. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Set list.
Shinedown goes on at 9:10, and they play till 10:50.
10:50.
Yeah, so if you go to WMMR.com, all of those details are at MMR.com.
And that has the broadcast 10 and the side stage details, so check that out.
And all the rye bread details you need are there. I don't think the rye bread is mentioned on there, actually. But
that's a shame.
It's implied.
We'll have the cart there by the side stage, so come and see us, why don't you? I would like to thank Justin Willman for being on our show this morning.
Blowing our minds.
Blew our mind. He's a magician and a stand-up comedian, and he's got a show tonight at the Keswick. He did this trick with a Rubik's Cube that I don't know how the hell he did that.
Can't even remotely put anything together that makes that feasible.
No. But you'll be able to watch that. I'm sure we'll be posting clips of that, and you can watch the stream on YouTube if you wanted to see what happened. And also, Becky Robinson. Becky's got some sold-out shows at Helium Comedy Club. There are some tickets that remain for Sunday if you would like to go and see her. But she's got this entitled housewife character that people are absolutely in love with, and so she was a lot of fun. And actually, Adam Ray came by too.
Yes.
He wasn't officially a guest on the show, but he and Becky are really good friends. And he wanted to pop in and say hi, so we had him on real quick. So.
Yeah, Adam's great, too. We had him on yesterday for a great interview.
Yep. All right, we need to do the letter of the day. So, Case, you ready?
I got you.
All right.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter.
Oh, as in, oh boy, this is going to be great.
All right, we'll take caller number 7 at 215-263 WMMR if you happen to know the word of the week now. Call, and we'll see if you get through, and maybe you will indeed win the prize. I'd like to, thank our sponsors. I guess that I can do that now. The Preston and Steve Show. Brought to you today by Duncan. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan, and also brought to you by Trinity Rehab, at locations all over, and now open in King of Prussia. Trinity-rehab.com to get all the information. What can we do to kill some time here while we wait for the caller to get in? Because I did the big sell. Oh, yeah. Thank you to Red Robin for coming by.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
They brought by their gourmet burgers, and they have Impossible Burgers and brownies and cookies.
Oh, they have cookies?
They have cookies.
Oh.
Don't miss the $10 Tavern Bundle going on now, which includes your choice of any Tavern Double Burger plus bottomless fries and a beverage, and that is, of course, from Red Robin. So thank you, guys, for coming in.
We were talking about pineapples earlier. They brought grilled pineapples. Did you guys try those?
I did not.
I love grilled pineapples.
Yeah, they're fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it brings out even more sweetness, if you can believe that or not, when you grill pineapple.
What I put on my veggie burger. I did an Impossible Burger with grilled pineapple,
There you go.
onion rings, and a little barbecue sauce.
Nice.
Delightful.
All right, to the phones we go. Caller number 7 is Pauline. Hi, Pauline.
Hi, Godzooks.
Godzooks. All right, Pauline,
Everyone.
what is the word of the week?
Macho.
Macho. That is correct, Pauline. And just straight up, $500 from the Bagster. Congratulations.
Thank you. That's awesome.
It is our
Made
pleasure.
my day.
Oh, wonderful. Thank
that's
you for
great.
listening. We appreciate it. It is our pleasure to give you that prize. Don't forget the Bagster is the most convenient and affordable way to help with your home cleanup. Buy it at any home improvement store. Fill it and simply schedule your collection, and it is gone. Clean it up with the Bagster dumpster in the bag. Next week on our program, obviously, we're going to be recapping the MMRBQ for tomorrow. But we do have a few guests that are going to be joining us in studio. Glenn Howerton.
Glenn Howerton. You know that
It's
guy.
Always sunny in Philadelphia. We'll be stopping by, so we'll spend some time with him. A gal I had a crush on for ages, Janine Turner.
Oh, she's awesome
Will be
from
joining us.
Northern
Exposure. Yeah.
And Cliffhanger.
And Jim Florentine, our buddy, will be joining the program too. So that's it. We're done. Ray John, have a great day, a wonderful weekend, and we will see a whole bunch of you tomorrow at the MMRBQ. Bye-bye.